Welcome everybody to Night Fiance Fridays. We're here with Captain and Gina. George will hopefully pop in soon, but we're excited to catch up with Captain, who I understand went on a fancy cruise. So we want to hear how that went down.
Well, I'm glad to be back. Missed you guys, missed my shows. The cruise was fantastic. It was my first cruise on Royal Caribbean. First cruise ever. It was great. I didn't expect it to be as much fun because I am very uh skittish on boats and things like that. I get seasick sometimes if I go on a boat, or I'm just terrified of the ocean, period.
Mm.
But to my amazement, I didn't realize I was on the ship unless I went outside or looked out the window. So you don't feel absolutely anything.
Mhm.
It's a lot of parties, a lot of restaurants. It's like a floating resort. We did dock at Cape Canaveral first in Orlando, and then we headed to the Bahamas
Mhm.
for a day, and then the next day we went to Coco Cay, which is a private beach for Royal Caribbean
Mhm.
and a private island actually. And yeah, it was fantastic. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. It
Mhm.
was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself, my husband. It was kind of like our honeymoon, but more like a family moon because his family was on board as well. But we pretty much did our own thing, so we just ran into them every now and then on the ship. But yeah, it was a great trip. I had a lot of fun. I recommend Royal Caribbean. it,
Mhm.
it was a fantastic cruise. I really had a great time.
Did you see a lot of wands there bartending?
What's crazy? I was thinking about that whole Jessica One thing.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I don't know what ship she must have sailed from because there wasn't one. I mean, I couldn't pick out one single attractive crew member out of the 2,000 crew members on board. They're 90% Filipino, Indonesian, a few Caribbean, like a handful of Caribbean, a lot of South Africans.
Mhm.
One girl was from Wales. So
Mhm.
it's like a real international crew. It's not like, and I was like, I couldn't see myself hooking up with any of these waiters. Like, they're not attractive in the least.
Like even the bartenders weren't.
Not one single attractive crew member. I couldn't spot one. I was like, I wonder what cruise line she chose because I'm looking around everywhere and I'm like, I can't think of one person I'd get drunk and sleep with.
Like how does the like how does
You're
that
with your husband.
I
So
know, but I'm
I don't
saying like if I was alone on a ship single, like she hooked up with one, like I can think of one waiter that I would be like, okay, or one bartender that would be like, okay, he's gonna get it today,
Mhm.
It was like these guys are really unattractive, and they're young, very young kids, but their customer service was excellent, very good, very nice and very, very professional, friendly. I mean, they wait on you hand and foot there.
Like the stars is a dumb question because I haven't really been on a fancy cruise like that. But with the drinks, like how does the payment work with that?
Well, before we bought it, and before we went on the trip, we purchased the drink pack. Well, my husband purchased the drink package,
Mm.
and it was $700, and that included all you can drink alcohol,
Mm.
and for me it was all you can drink, like coffee, soft drinks, water, whatever. And it really pays off because the drinks are so weak and watered down
Mhm.
that in a night you end up drinking like 20 drinks and you're still like nothing. But if you
Oh,
don't
so
buy the
yeah, like
drink,
so if you didn't have the package or whatever,
then every drink is $14.
damn. Okay.
yeah, I was
Uh-huh.
gonna say.
And that shit, we're like, could you imagine paying $14 for a cup of ice?
Mhm.
Because they give you like a tiny little shot of alcohol, then they douse it with a mixer and put a bunch of ice.
Mhm.
And the funny thing, there's actually a bar on the ship. It's called the Bionic Bar, and it was amazing to watch. It's actually two mechanical bionic arms. You put in your drink order on a touch screen, and the two bionic arms, they make your drink. You got to look it up,
Like a,
Bionic Bar.
I
It's
think I've seen
amazing.
that before. It's like a
Yeah.
robot that does
Yeah,
it.
it's like two big robot arms hanging from the ceiling, and they get the drink and they shake it up, and then they put it down into the glass, into the cup, and then you swipe your card, and the drink comes to you at the end of the bar.
I might have seen a video of that, but I'm gonna have to look it up again.
It was crazy. I was like, poor, they're gonna put all these bartenders out of business.
So you didn't see anyone?
They are.
You didn't see anyone like puke or anything?
No, I didn't see any action on the ship. It was pretty calm. A lot of kids though, because they had this special offer. Kids 12 and under travel for free. So everybody
for freak's sakes.
So everybody took advantage. I didn't know that when I booked the cruise, because they do it like once a month, that promotion. So we got stuck with all the kids. I mean, there were kids on that ship.
Like, are there? I think I might. You tell me. So, are there like cruises where it's like adults only?
Yes, they got the Virgin Cruise Line that it's adult only, and sometimes because I'm a new person to the cruise life, so I didn't really know about it. They do certain cruises do all adults only. And funny story about this, and I didn't know. So apparently, there's this thing on the cruise where people you can put magnets on your door or whatever. So people put pineapple magnets.
Oh my God! I knew you were
upside
gonna say
down.
that.
Upside down, the upside down pineapple magnet. If you see that on someone's cabin door, that means that they're open to swing. They're open swingers.
Yeah.
So you just knock on the door and they let you in, and then whatever happens. So we didn't know this. I actually didn't see any, but I was told prior to getting on, on the trip, from someone who had went on a cruise. They're like, you got to watch for the pineapple. But since the cruise ship started getting, they caught on to what was happening, so people stopped putting the pineapple. Now they'll just wear like a pineapple pendant on their chain, or like a upside down pineapple shirt with upside down pineapple or something like that, to let anybody else know that they're swingers.
I have heard that. Yeah,
I didn't know that shit.
Like Brandon's parents.
I was yeah, I thought I saw the father at one point at the pool, and I went and got in real close to see if that was him. I was like, oh shit. But no, I wasn't. But yeah, I didn't know that shit. It was crazy.
By the way, Lana's here.
Hey, Lana.
Hey, Lana.
So I gave her like speaking abilities so she could chime in.
Yeah, so now I know better. You see any pineapple shit on the cruise, stay away from that.
Upside down pineapples?
Yeah.
Yeah, that means they're a freak, right?
Yeah, that means everything goes, and you can just knock on the door and they let you in.
Well,
literally anything goes.
The problem with the swingers thing is you have to provide your wife if you want his wife.
Yeah. You come in as a, oh no, you can come in as single, because you don't know what's inside the room once you get in there. They could be waiting for a third person.
True.
A couple.
Yeah, and they say like every night is different, like they'll tell you, like, once you're a member of the Pineapple Crew, they'll let you know, well, tomorrow we're doing this, tomorrow.
Well, yeah, that's why Pineapple Girls like our big swinger, in-house swinger.
The Pineapple Girl.
That's like her identity.
Yeah, I didn't know that at all. I was really so then when I would walk through the halls, I would be looking at everybody's door to see if I see a pineapple.
So you didn't see one though?
No, I didn't see that, because they said that the crew, the ship started catching on.
Yeah.
And if they catch you doing that, once they catch you doing that, you're banned for life from sailing with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
True. By the way, Lana, do you want to unmute and talk, or feel free? But
hey guys, how's everybody doing?
Hey Lana, long time.
I know. I've been sick.
Oh
Luckily, I
no.
got rid of this cough, so I should be good.
Okay, yeah, well, we want you as like a co-host tonight.
You got it. Anything you need.
True. So JLP, should we get into like
Yeah,
main
sure.
topic?
Let's start with the main topics.
Okay, well, let's go. So the big news was obviously, rest in peace, Ben Rathbun. Uh,
So sad.
yeah,
Yes,
and
that
that
was
it was,
really really sad news to hear that.
yeah, like obviously, like yeah, it's a shame. I mean, as far as the show, I mean, I thought they were entertaining on the show. That it was they were obviously an enigma, and Ben obviously is a very like obviously he has pluses and his negatives. Let's just say you know he's a flawed character, but I don't know. I felt obviously no one wants what happened to him to happen, but obviously,
Yeah, I wondered if he had any knowledge of that, that he was sick prior to being on the show or anything like that,
Mhm,
because it seems like his we thought was a midlife crisis could have been like, you know what, because he
mhm,
left his family, to be with this young girl and everything. So I was thinking midlife crisis, but then I thought about it when I heard the news and figured maybe, he decided I'm gonna be sick, so I might as well enjoy whatever time I have left.
I don't think
mhm.
he knew because like you can
Well,
see from the
he was
pictures
donating
that he
blood,
was
right?
deteriorating.
Well, he was donating blood, right?
Yeah, he was selling plasma.
Hmm.
So yeah, he probably didn't know, or I don't know. I mean, it's really sad either way. He's very young, and he has
Yeah.
kids and all of that stuff. You still got to feel bad for the family no matter what. And if it was sudden, it's even more tragic because when you know someone is ill, you're more prepared
Yeah.
Yes.
for for that kind of news. But it's really sad to hear. I'm sorry for his family.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know where you want to start, but like so I will, and again, I'm not trying to like be lighthearted on a serious subject or whatever, but having prefaced that, like to to be the person that kind of scooped TMZ on a celebrity death is kind of insane on my part.
Yeah, that was amazing, Shabooty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to be TMZ is like you have to be like you have to be kind of
right. You got to be like
wild man.
really, yeah. You got to be really like to
Bold.
have that firsthand information. You
Yeah, you have
know.
to be bold. It takes a lot of balls because
Yeah. Ballsies.
like because again, it's all happening. It literally happened that day. So
Right.
I had limited information. I didn't base it on one piece of information, but I had a little, I had a couple pieces of information. And I kind of like, anyway, I made the call that I was like, yeah. But it took a lot of cojones on my part because again, it's like,
Yeah.
what if I break that news and it's not true? I mean, it's like,
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
trick.
And
Yeah, yeah, it's
how
a
to
risky.
tread with it as well, right? At the same time.
That's a
'Cause
risky move
it's
if
such
you don't have a
it's a
hundred
serious
percent
subject.
facts.
It's a
Yes.
serious subject. So
And
like,
Shabooty, weren't you the first one to report that he was sick?
Yes,
I was
also.
the first person to report that he had cancer. I was the first person to report.
Yes.
Yes,
And then
yes.
there were like Reddit threads that were like saying it was bullshit, and I was like, but so they were in denial of my hot tea. Uh,
Yeah. I mean,
but
Reddit is a whole different entity over there. I don't know what goes on over there,
Yeah, I
but
can't get into Reddit.
yeah, there's all kind of weird shit coming from Reddit. Sometimes you see stuff,
Mhm.
some of the posts, and you're like, what the hell?
And then I don't know. I was kind of getting a kick out of like I kind of got a kick out of how like I was getting more like mainstream hits than like 90-day bloggers giving me credit. So I've gotten credit from like TMZ, obviously, and then like People Magazine, In Touch Weekly, Page Six.
Yep. I seen
Uh,
every one
Yeah,
of them.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
me
that
too.
that's
Suggest.com. I don't know. There's endless ones, countless ones. And it's like I found it amusing that like the mainstream like media outlets are giving me my due and credit and respect. And then not all, there were some, I would say 8 out of 10, like 90 quote unquote 90-day fiancé bloggers who just repost whatever TMZ posts. Basically, none of them were like mentioning me that I was like the original source that broke the news. And I kind of found it amusing.
You know what's crazy?
Oh,
You
I saw
broke.
that too, and I was so mad. I was going to be like, "Oh, so you just stole this from Shabooty, and stop paying the shit I'm putting your name on there." But I'm like, nope, no,
But
I
You
you
know
have
what's
more petty
crazy?
shit to deal with. I have better shit to deal with.
What's crazy that you broke it before even TLC broke it.
mean TM? Oh, well, TMZ and TLC, yes.
Yeah.
Before TLC had it, I mean that's usually if you're a cast member, you would think that the network would at least pay you tribute, or say, well, we're sorry to announce this and this and this.
That's
I mean,
so true.
yeah, you want to say, I mean, WeTV does it all the time, but I guess probably they're waiting to air on Sunday's show. They're probably going to put a little something in there like they do. You know how they do the screen and they'll put up something.
Yeah, but
What do
let
you
me get
think?
there. So the people there were, again, there were people that even before, because I posted it like in the evening, in the early evening, and then TMZ didn't post it till like four. TMZ didn't post their story till like 4 or 5 hours after I posted mine. So I posted it 4 hours before. So like around like 4 or 5 p.m. And then there were some of my, people, bloggers or whatever, on Instagram that did share my story initially, even before TMZ confirmed it. So, for example, like I think Sarcasm shared it. Sarah Fraser did a video on it. According to Amber, did a post on it and tagged me. I don't know if there's others, but those are the three that could pop in my mind even before TMZ confirmed it. And then as soon as TMZ confirmed it, all the other like douchebag bloggers like shared the TMZ story and didn't mention me for they hated the fact that I broke the story, so they didn't mention me. But I just thought so. I just want to give those shout outs to the people that did share my story initially.
Yeah, that's some good reporting that's gonna elevate you on TLC's radar, and they're gonna be
Yep.
like, oh man, this guy's getting inside information. Maybe we can,
Yes.
maybe we
Mhm.
could use his skills for some.
Yeah, they'll be calling Shabooty for a scoop.
Yeah, they might have you do a little podcast for
Plus
them.
work.
Well, yeah, they at this point the Shabooty is not, it's not like a one hit wonder or a one hit fluke.
Nope.
As I say.
Yeah.
But oh, by the way,
Um.
so by the way, real quick, Sophia is here. If you would like to speak, Sophia, you have speaking privileges. Um, let's see. So let's go. Let me pull up our topics list.
Just quick on the Ben topic.
Mhm.
Is what's her name? Melody. What was her name? Mahogany.
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 Did Mahogany was they're still together or something like that? Like, did
Like,
she?
so okay, let's see. Well, let me just go. Let me just. We're not leaving the Ben topic yet, but let me just read real quick on my topics that I wrote. Um, so let's see. Um, okay, so yeah, as far as the Mahogany thing, so it's kind of like, so initially it was reported that it was anyway, she wasn't with him when he passed as far as like physically there, but they were still like
Oh,
in my
okay.
mind, they're still together. According to
In
me,
touch. They were just in touch.
yeah, I think they're still together as far as like a couple, but she physically wasn't there, but it wasn't because she wasn't there by choice. I think because of her visa, she had to leave.
Oh, okay.
And also like I think when he passed, like during those days,
Yeah.
health like deteriorated like rapidly, where she had the
Oh.
opportunity to like be there to come back for that.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's
But
kind of
she was there with, like with him.
And,
She was still
and
with him.
Kara.
yeah,
Yeah.
I could read. She did make a post. Um, I could read you her post. I'll just read it real quick. It says like, this is Mahogany talking. She did a post on Instagram. It says, "quote I love you more than it." But just before I read this, some of her like English may like the grammar may be like a little messed up. So I'm gonna try to read it.
Right.
I love you. And yeah, anyway, and I love you more than anyone. I love you forever and ever. I'm crying writing this, but I still don't know how to tell the internet about his privacy life and my privacy life. Guys, he was a saint. He was a real Christian before he passed. He made peace with life and God and everyone. He was a peacemaker, a child of God. He loved life. He loved life. He loved life, an angel and real person. I'm not lying. And then she went on to say, quote, no one can talk bad anymore. He was and is innocent of everything. This is my true again, I'm editing on the fly as far as the grammar. This is my truth. I'm not talking for the law, just for me. He's an innocent person. Please, for my peace, no more speculation about his life. He was perfect. It doesn't matter his past. His present was a real child of God. So Mahogany posted that.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then she posted a video too, and then I don't know. People were kind of giving her shit in the video because she wasn't like crying in the video, and some
Yeah,
people,
she wasn't.
yeah, I feel like it's kind of fucked up though to like give her shit for not crying, kind of.
But
Well, some
sometimes
people
you
get delayed
cried so
reaction.
much that you're
Mhm.
dried up,
Yes.
basically.
Or-
Like there's nothing more to come up. Like there's no more tears because
Mhm.
you basically
all
shut
cried
them
out.
all.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and like, I mean, I don't know about that specific situation, obviously, but as far as me, like, I always deal with like bad situations with like laughter and shit. So like, even if it's a fucked up situation, like you may see me laugh, but it's not because I'm like laughing at the situation. It's like a defense mechanism. You know?
Yeah, it's like a
Yes.
reaction.
Yeah.
It's a maybe she has delayed reaction because I remember when my dad passed, I didn't cry till like a couple months afterwards when I realized, when it finally hit me, then I just broke down one day out of nowhere and just cried for like 10 minutes straight.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a delayed reaction to some people.
It could just be like the person, like just how the person is. We don't know her on a personal level, so who are we
Yeah,
to judge somebody's like emotions?
right.
It's true. I have a friend that laughs at funerals and cries at weddings. So, you know,
Oh Lord.
True. And then, well, you know what makes me laugh? It's not about like a sad situation, but like, well, it hasn't happened in a while, but I remember like, I don't know, 5 years ago, or whatever. Like, when you're at the dentist and then like, you have your mouth like gaping open for a long time and it kind of like it's kind of uncomfortable, when you have your mouth open that long. No diddy. And then it's like, but then like, and I remember that time, like I was just trying so hard not to like giggle just because I was like uncomfortable. And I started like laughing nonstop. And then the person cleaning my teeth, they're like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, sorry. I just like laughing. I'm uncomfortable."
Yeah, that happens.
True.
That happens every now and then. You get arrested and you start laughing, but you really want to cry.
You don't know whether to laugh or cry. You're just sitting.
As soon as you see the flashing lights behind you, you just start giggling and laughing.
Mhm.
You're like, oh shit, I'm going to jail.
So, yeah, and then I know I think I might have already said it, but yeah, so Mahogany's back in Peru. I have two sources confirming that, and then on top of that, she had posted a video, and then in the background, you can kind of see like the wall outlet is like different. So then I look at the image and then I Google image searched it, and then it has like these four prongs in the wall outlet, so for holes, and then that like kind of extra confirmed that she was in Peru. So yeah, she's definitely back in Peru now.
did they ever marry Shabooty?
That was the reporting is, yeah, like that they're married. I don't know for like I don't know as far as like the United States like status of their being married, but I
Well,
know
something had to have been going on if she was here, right?
yeah, well, she came back with them because he was down there, kind of avoiding his legal situation. Then he got sick, and his sickness forced him to come back for better medical treatment. And then, but the problem was when he came back, obviously for the better medical treatment, he had to face the law, which was he had the embezzlement charge and a child support charge.
That's right.
So that
Wow.
um, so that's kind of why. As far, yeah, again, like they were, yeah, she was his wife, but again, I don't know, and just because you're married in Peru, I don't know the real situation as far as like in the United States. But oh, and here's just like another tit, and again, I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead, but another tidbit of information which I have not yet reported until this moment is, um, one thing that was interesting as far as his legal case was this is a world exclusive, but anyway, he and it's not a surprise, and again, I'm not trying to speak ill of him, but he admit obviously with this situation with the health, he had missed his last in-person court date. So that was another sign for me to know how dire the situation was.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a little
Sad.
inside info. Um, yeah, so I'm trying to think. I wrote a long I did. Do you want me to read? It was actually not to like start putting, not to start complimenting myself, but I feel like I wrote an eloquent little blurb on a post. Do you want me to read it real quick?
Yes, read that,
Yeah.
Shabooty. That was very good.
The most recent one, right? So I assume that's what we're talking about. But let me just read the most recent one. I hope this is the same one Lana was talking about, but this is from the most recent one. But here's me read. This is my own caption from Instagram. It says, the first thing I want to say is anyone downplaying their love. Beth Rathbun was smitten with Mahogany, and she was there for him in person through his cancer diagnosis in Michigan. That couldn't have been easy. She wrote on Instagram this week, quote, and when this happened, I slept in hospitals with you. I tried to give you my love, even though it made me helpless. I miss you so much, my love. End quote. And then I wrote, I heard she even formed a close bond with one of his daughters and was kind of taken and embraced. While still together in spirit, Mahogany had to leave the United States and go back to Peru because of her visa. Because Ben passed away suddenly, she was unable to be there with him at the time of his passing. And then I kind of went into the details of the whole thing with the visual proof. But that was my little blurb I wrote on it.
Yeah, that was the one. That was so good, Shabooty. It was just so respectful.
Yeah, that was nice.
And when I broke the news, so I did say in the caption, I was like, don't talk any shit on this post because now is not the time or place.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
hopefully,
that's good.
hopefully the family appreciated that.
Yeah, that was nice. I mean, we get cast members that have their flaws and stuff, and we'll joke on them, but when they die unexpectedly, we kind of push all that aside and like, okay, we got to be respectful.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
don't think we wish ill will
No,
like
we don't
that
wish
on
death on
anybody.
people or anything like that.
No,
But
not even the J Canal, not even Angela. We're not. We
yeah,
ain't like that.
we draw
So,
the line. We draw the line at some point.
But I think at some of these shows that we get so deep into them, so it's like we know them. So when something bad happens in their lives, we feel their pain.
Yeah. The 90-day community is very amusing in the sense of like it's a weird kind of dichotomy because it's like in one aspect when in the regular days it's kind of one of the most like toxic communities and most evil communities, and then when something like a tragedy happens, it's also one of the most like sweetest and like embracing communities depending on what's going on. Like for example, when everyone rallied around like Michael and his GoFundMe to get away from Angela,
Right.
those donations, everyone was rallying around him. When David passed from Vegas, when Ben passed, so then the community kind of rallies when like a bad thing happens. But when it's like a regular day of business and there's no tragedy, it is like literally one of the most toxic, evil, fucked up communities.
Yeah, we can dish out some shit. That's one thing. We can drag your ass up and down Twitter, but we do have empathy at some point and we feel sad for people. And that actually makes now 2 cast members that have passed, right?
Yeah, that we know of. Yes.
I know Love After Lockup has about 3. Love After
Hey,
Lockup
do you
has
guys
3.
know what happened with Amber? Is she still alive from Love After Lockup?
I know she's still alive, but I don't have the latest update in front of me. So, but
Yeah. Love After Lockup is 3 people that have passed, and this one is now 2.
Yeah, I remember the one with her boyfriend who had just got out. He died in a car accident, right?
Are you talking about Love After Lockup or 90 Day?
Love After Lockup.
I forget. I just remember the drug overdose person.
Yeah, there was 2 drug overdoses.
Wow.
And 2 drug overdoses that I know of, and somebody else that passed.
Yeah, it was the black guy. I can't remember his name, but his girlfriend was something else.
Oh yeah, no. As a matter of fact, Love After Lockup has more than. Now that you mention it, yeah, that he was in a police car chase and he hit a truck. So that's that guy. Then there are 2 drug overdoses.
Wow.
So that's 3. I think we have like 4. I'm gonna look into it. That'll be a conversation for another day.
That's true. Oh, just one final thing before we end the Ben thing. Let me just read quick 3 quotes from some cast members who commented in my comment section. So Kim, aka Kim Bali, she said, quote, "This is truly sad. He made mistakes as we all have, but he's a good guy. I pray for him and his family." Cam wrote that on my Instagram post. Mike Burke, aka Mikey B, he said, "Oh my God, this is so sad to see him or anyone die of cancer. Prayers to him and his family and Mahogany. Hashtag fuck cancer." And then Tyree said, "Quote, damn, this is so sad. We never know what someone is going through," is what Tyree said. So that was that. So that's that topic. Let's see. Are we, so I guess we're done with that topic. Yeah, R.I.P. Ben, and hopefully his family's doing okay. I know it's like kind of, it must be weird, when the world, when you're like, your dad's kind of a public figure, and then all of that kind of happens with the world knowing, kind of.
Right, right.
But anyway, so I guess switching gears a little bit as far as topics. So I have a lot of kind of not necessarily, well, I do have tea, but I don't want to spill all the tea because the show hasn't even aired yet. But there's a lot of hunt for love stuff that's going on.
Oh, it starts Monday. I can't wait.
Yeah, that should be good. So as far as like my topics on Hunt for Love, there's one thing I wanted to clarify. Well, I think it's from last Friday's show. So I think I had said last Friday on their Instagram where they kind of unveiled the singles on Instagram, the new singles. I think I had said something along the lines of the singles that they unveiled on Instagram are not necessarily all the new singles that are going to be featured on the show, but I want to walk that back a little bit and basically say any and all new singles that were featured on Instagram and the marketing materials are all of the singles that are going to be on the show. So what you see is what you get. There isn't going to be any like surprises as far as new singles. So I just wanted to correct that. And then real quick, let's see. So Monday in New York City, there was a premiere party in New York City for the Hunt for Love. That's the same day that Ben passed. But anyway, so it was interesting. They didn't invite any of the new singles, which is kind of weird, I thought. So they had all the 90 Day people, but they didn't have any of the new singles at like the premiere party where they're trying to garner press. So what did you think of them kind of not inviting the new singles?
Well, I'd say that's pretty damn disrespectful if it's their show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's very TLC. I don't know. I don't want to start like bad mouthing that whatever the powers that be, but TLC does a lot of weird shit like that. Like
Yeah,
having a premiere party and not inviting the whole cast.
that's definitely weird that you're in a show that's having a premiere, but you're not invited to the premiere. The premiere.
Yeah,
that sounds so stupid.
Maybe they didn't want the focus to be on the. They wanted the focus to remain on the past cast members.
Mm-hmm. My guess is they didn't want to fly in all the new cast members. Like I don't know. Yeah. I feel like it's like they looked at the head count. They said,
well, we already know that they're financially they like to shift the people, certain cast members, to shitty hotels, and then they give them other hotels. So
yeah, that's exactly true. That's true because remember we had that conversation. Yeah, the like Jasmine and the big shot cast members, they put them in they booked them.
Yeah, they put their A-listers. They give them priority, and then they just give everybody else the mediocre stuff.
Yeah, the Devins of the world, they put in the shitty hotel.
You would think that a show that's pulling in so much revenue for them, and has all these spin-offs, that they would be a little bit more loose with the funds.
But Captain, the only people that they care about is themselves, and who are their A-listers. These are to them right now, they are nobodies, right? They're not a fan favorite. They're nobodies right now. So why invest that money or the plane ticket, the hotel, whatever it is?
And so if they didn't even bother to fly them out for the premiere or anything like that, you could only imagine that they're probably not paying them much either.
Well, we're going to get into that because I have inside info on that.
But here's the thing too. What if somebody's actually in a relationship with one of the nobodies and can't really show that affection, right? I don't know if it happened or not, but by all means, right?
I just think that's weird.
No,
I know. It's TLC. They are weird.
And then, okay, so there's another thing I want to get into, which is so the PR company they were working with to set up that party, as far as inviting guests and stuff, I know they reached out to a bunch of bloggers and they made it seem to all the bloggers that all the bloggers are going to be like invited, and then ultimately they cut the short this. And again, I don't know who made the decision, but ultimately they cut the list like in half of probably what they were looking to invite as far as like influencers. So they did invite some of the podcast people. Um, but there was, and again, I'm not going to say who because I think they're too nice to kind of bitch about it. But I did hear about one story where one blogger who lived in another state, like far away from New York City, basically contacted the company, the PR company, and said, "Hey, that because the PR company contacted them, and then the blogger was like, "Listen, I'm willing to fly myself out to New York City, and I know the official invite isn't supposed to come out till like next week, but if you can just give me kind of like word of mouth confirmation that this is really going to happen for me, that I'm going to be able to, if I come out to New York City, I'm going to be able to attend the party, then I'll go ahead and book my flight and my hotel, my flight." Just like promise me kind of like it's pretty much lined up, even though it's not, even though I technically physically don't have like the actual invite yet. So I heard there was a blogger where they did have that kind of conversation and they were under that understanding that yes, feel free to go ahead and kind of book your flight. It's pretty much lined up. We're going to get you the official invite, in the next week. So they booked the flight and hotel. And then when next week rolled around, they didn't really hear from the PR company. And then ultimately the PR company's like, sorry, we kind of had to cut the list short in half, so we couldn't fit you in. And then this blogger had already booked their flight. So then they basically paid to fly to New York City for no reason. But I mean, still, I feel like they still made the best of it. I know they attended. I think they attended one of those like kind of like Kelly live. Not Regis and Kelly, but whoever's after.
Kelly Clarkson.
No, like after Regis Feldman retired. But
Oh, yeah.
Kelly and Mark.
I
I
know.
don't know. It doesn't matter. But so they attended that live. Maybe they were outside of the Diddy trial. They try to make the best of it. But I felt bad for the blogger because like they kind of got fucked over.
I mean, I think that TLC should, if they're gonna have like guests come in from out of town or whatever to promote their show, they should at least reimburse you for your ticket if you go out of pocket and stuff like that. Also, that should have been in writing. Like, I'm not gonna take
But
somebody's word for it that I'm gonna be.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. That was a naive move from the blogger.
Yeah, you're not gonna tell me, piss on my leg and tell me it's raining.
That's right.
You want me to fly out there? You're gonna reimburse me. I need to see a contract.
Mhm.
But
but
they
none of
probably
the PR company didn't have any 90-day fiance cast as who they like on their Instagram as like who they represent.
So
I looked,
maybe it was. How do they even know that it was a reputable PR company? How do they know it wasn't fake? I could send you. I can send you an invite pretending
No,
to
I mean,
pretending to be a PR company and tell you you're gonna be coming to the next premiere or the next, whatever, and you go ahead and book a flight. You don't even know who these people are. It's over the internet.
by the way, y'all, you can hear me, right? Because I dropped my
Yes.
phone. Okay.
Yes.
mhm.
No, yeah, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was it was a reputable PR company. But yeah, no, long story long, that blogger got kind of hoed, but it was a naive move on their part to like book their flight before they have like an official confirmation, aside from word of mouth.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, that happened, and they didn't invite the new cast members, which I felt was kind of odd, but at the same time, that happens a lot in this world. What else? Okay, so you mentioned it earlier, and I said I have inside info on that as far as like how the pay. I don't have like specifics as far as money, but as far as how the pay structure works. Um, let's see. So for Hunt for Love, because remember we had the conversation with George, and George was saying in a previous episode that the cast members are paid based on the episodes that they appear on the actual final show. Um, so I'm not saying that's not the case with the 90-day cast members, but as far as the new singles, what I heard, Shabooty style, was so for Hunt for Love, as far as the new singles, they aren't paid in this instance, they're not paid based on if they're going to appear on the show, like if they're edited into that episode. Instead, this time the new singles, they basically just got kind of like a stipend each day that they were there at the resort. And that's basically all that they're getting paid, period, for doing the show.
Oh my God.
So
So
they
it's
got
like way less.
paid per DM,
How
like per DIM.
Like it's not like because okay, so like the regular cast members, let's say they would get paid like $1,000 every episode they're featured on.
Yeah.
But this is with the new singles, again, I don't know the number, but I'm gonna guess it's less than $1,000 a day, obviously. So with the new singles, it's like every day you're there. Let's say I don't know the number, so I'm gonna make up the number. Like let's say every day they're there, they give them like $150 or something.
Yeah.
So like that's it. That's the only money they're getting. So let's say even it's like $100. Like every day you're in Mexico with us, we're gonna pay you $100, and that's literally all the money they're getting to be on the show.
What?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because if they have to spend their own damn money to survive while they're there, they're only going to break even.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how all that works. Like, I don't know if like food and is all covered, but
They probably just figure since you're staying at the resort for free and you're eating for free, that's they're gonna take that out of your paycheck. They might as well just use it as a form of payment that they're paying you because they're giving you free lodging and food. You're being on TV, so that's free publicity for whatever
yeah.
Instagram shenanigans you got going on the side or OnlyFans.
That's true.
And that's we're helping you promote your shit. And then here's
right.
50 here's $50 so you can get yourself a Starbucks coffee.
Yeah, no, but I thought it was amusing because like
it is.
the 90 no, but like the regular 90-day contract is always belittled as being like kind of trash. So this seems even worse than that.
Yeah, but people say that, I mean, the 90-day contract, it's like on the fence because, they're not getting paid enough. They don't get paid that much. But then you see these people buying houses and cars and moving and all that stuff. So they have to be getting paid something,
Right.
Yeah, I think it all depends on how smart you are. Like, obviously, somebody like Jasmine who has cameos and OnlyFans and Fashion Nova and some other bullshit. Those people like that know how to kind of multiply their money. So yeah, it all depends on how smart you are, with that shit.
I think they have too much control. I really do. Because these people can't even speak out. They can't say what's on their mind. They can't do absolutely anything. They're covered under a contract. They're basically own you for a certain amount of your time of your life.
Yeah, no, then they're like they're super duper controlling of like your social media. Like if you post a story
Right.
that they don't like, they'll get a text say, hey, delete that story. They now like, they don't let you get on podcasts like this podcast. So they're very controlling of, all the shit you do.
Yes.
You're under a microscope, like let's say you're even like in like Liz's position, like she had her health. Well, I don't know the specifics, but like, but she has her health. She had her health, has had her health issue, but you can't really talk about it that much because it'll be a spoiler for the show. I don't know. So you can't even talk about like your health issues as far as like if you're madly in love. Obviously, you can't really like go on Instagram and say how madly in love you are.
That's crazy. I couldn't live like that.
Yeah,
So
they
basically like a control, like a machine.
Exactly.
Your robots.
Yeah.
Once you sign that contract, you're like selling your soul to them. So, you
got selling your life away.
If another opportunity comes along for another show, you can't take it. You're stuck with them, even if they're not using you.
Yeah,
right?
Right.
Even if you're not on the show anymore, if somebody offers you an opportunity to be on some other show on television, you can't take that opportunity because you're still under their contract. You're locked in.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You got to be shelved for like a year or some shit.
Yeah, you got to be
shelved. 2 years.
Yeah, I guess 2 years. I don't know. And then
from the last time you appeared on the TV, at least that's what George said. I think it was 2 years.
You know what? That's why a lot of couples, like we always say, well, why don't the real couples that are in love ever make an appearance on the show? We keep getting these trash ass couples recycled. A lot of these people, they do a one and done. They don't want these cameras in their lives anymore. And they don't want to be exploited. Their relationships exploited. So those are the couples that are really did it for love, and they figure, we'll make a buck out of it. But once their contract is up, they're like, okay, we're done with this. We're not doing this anymore.
Well, what was that girl's name? Who married the dentist guy, or he just got his from Jordan?
Yes.
One and done.
Winter.
No, Ashley. Is it Ashley?
I wanted to say Avery.
Avery.
Oh, yeah, yes.
They got married. They had their one and done, and you never saw them on the screen again.
Right.
There's our people who don't want, because TLC will find ways, they script your shit and then they make it seem like your marriage is falling apart, and they make you do a lot of, we've heard from past cast members how they manipulate so you don't look like the bad guy when you're really not.
Like, well, one thing I heard about Hunt for Love was all the, like, I don't want to say all of them, but most of like the 90 Day peoples on Hunt for Love. Well, again, let's just do a hypothetical, right? Let's do a hypothetical. So on Hunt for Love in Mexico, let's say you had a video shoot. I mean, you had to shoot for the day, and then the shoot ended at like 10 p.m. What I heard was the Hunt for Love 90 Day people, after the shoot was over, those, let's say it's 10 p.m., let's say you're planning to go to bed at like midnight or something. For those next 2 hours, all they would do, the 90 Day people they would basically like brainstorm on like kind of like storylines and like how to kind of and like drama and stuff.
Yeah.
They're basically brainstorming on drama for the show. So basically, like when they weren't filming, they were all like putting their heads together, like, hey, how do we keep this? How do we think of like more drama to go? So that their whole focus was like drama and like keep the fame alive. So that was their whole focus.
Yeah, Jasmine and Gino were gold for them.
So yeah, that's that. Let me go back to my topics list because I feel like I still have something else I want to say. So that was the issue with the contract and the money. As far as like what the singles were told before being shipped out to Mexico was they were told it's gonna be like a fun summer camp tropical show. And instead, it was a bunch of like fame whores conniving, dramatic conniving fame whores. So that's kind of what they got.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and then real quick, this isn't really like a long conversation topic, but did you see the Tiffany picture I posted? And then did you notice the customized backdrop I made? Y'all should go back to my Instagram.
Yes, I saw it.
Lana, did you see it?
No, I don't think I've seen it.
Go anyone listening live, go to my Instagram and look for like a Tiffany photo, and then pay close attention to like the backdrop, and then see if you notice like a Shabooty customization, if you will, which I feel like it made it funny. So Gina, you saw it, right?
I saw it, but I didn't really pay attention to the background. I was like, dang, she's looking good. So let me go back and check it
Well,
out.
okay, you saw the season with like Usman and Kimberly, right?
Yeah.
So then you know what yummy means.
Yeah.
So yeah, go look at the backdrop and then see what it says.
Yeah. I'm looking right now. Just trying to find it.
Oh, I see it. 90-day hunt yammy.
Hunt for yammy. The funny part is Tiffany reshared it on her story. I don't know if she noticed or not.
That's funny.
That's a little yummy Easter egg for the people listening back home. It's like
that's funny. And it's even more funny because Usman is there.
Exactly, right? So that's a little Easter egg that either way, Tiffany shared the post, so that's cool. Let's see. I guess we're changing topics. Did you see the Natalie at Disneyland with fans photo?
Yes.
Yeah, that was another situation where like I'll post something and then people don't believe me and say that's not Natalie, and then I get all pissed off because I'm like, how do you like not believe me at this point? And then I got all pissed off, and then I was like, all right, here's another photo of, admittedly her face did look a little puffy, but I was like, here's another photo, and then I was like, if you want, zoom in on her ears, and then you'll see it has like her name Natalie on her, like Mickey Mouse ears. And then on top of that, if you actually went to her Instagram, you would see that she was also posting pictures.
No, I saw, like, I don't follow her, but I did see that she was at Disneyland or something like that.
Yeah, the photo I initially posted though was not from her page; it was from a fan that sent it to me who follows me on Twitter. So that part was kind of like an exclusive. What else did I want to say? I'm having a brain fart. But anyway, yeah. So that was Natalie at Disneyland. I don't know. I was gonna add something.
She didn't scare all the kids away.
No, I remember what I was gonna say. So I remember before I told y'all that because there's so many like 90 Day Fiancé people that have me blocked for like no real reason. So I think in the past I told y'all Natalie has me blocked, and then when I went to check after I got the Disneyland photo, I noticed she didn't have me blocked. So at some point, Natalie did unblock me. So
Oh,
She probably unblocked you so you can post her photo.
maybe,
yeah, exactly.
The word is getting out that to stay relevant, you got to be on Shabooty's radar
yeah.
to stay relevant. I mean, whether it's negative publicity or positive publicity, if Shabooty's talking about you, you're gonna get some kind of attention. So
Well, I
yeah,
mean, it was smart of Kimberly and Mikey B and Tyree for hopping in my comment section as I was breaking news and getting like over 1,000 followers in a day, new followers in a day. That they hop in the comment section, then their names and their quotes started appearing in press.
yeah, you're making waves. You're making waves.
Exactly.
Making more waves than my cruise ship.
So it's a lesson to the cast members that like you should follow me, and then if I do break some news, you should hop in the comment section because then the main
And not only that, you should hop on the podcast.
exactly hop on the podcast, hop in the whatever, hop on the Shabooty train because this shit don't stop, and you'll end up
Right.
mainstream press, and then you can go send it to TLC PR and say, hey, look at me in all this media because I'm cool with Shabooty. See how amazing that is?
Yeah, look who's talking about me. Shabooty's talking about me. Yeah, and I'm on Shabooty's podcast.
Oh, that you don't want to tell them, but you'd be like,
No,
oh,
they know.
Shabooty's talking about me. I
Listen, they
must be
know
doing
who
something
comes.
right.
They know damn well who comes on this podcast because they have their ways of finding out. They wait for Shabooty. They wait for Shabooty to post that shit on Spotify, or and listen to it. Early Monday.
Yet they don't take our advice with casting.
Early Monday
That
morning.
are just garbage.
You know how you have your Monday morning meetings? That's what they listen to on Monday mornings, like the whole entire podcast.
True. Okay, so let's see. So yeah, Natalie was in Disneyland, and then the fan that saw them. Oh, let me actually go to my post because it was actually like it was actually an exclusive post as far as a Natalie run-in. So let me not gloss over my exclusive. So here's my caption. It says, one of the members of Shabooty's 90 Day Fiancé Superfans Twitter community just sent me this photo, and it says, quote, this is the fan talking. I just took this picture with Natalie. We're at Disneyland. She says, I didn't expect her to be so friendly. She really seemed to like that we are fans and thanked us for watching, end quote. And then I said, wow, I'm shocked. Maybe TLC finally lectured Natalie to be nicer to the fans she meets and stop being such a sourpuss, because this is the first time I ever received a glowing report from a fan that met Natalie. And that was it pretty much. So yeah, it seemed like she was nice to the fans for once, because usually I always hear horror stories how she's in like a shit mood and she does not want to be bothered. But that's the Natalie story.
I feel like Natalie, she's going to find her a rich old man in Hollywood, and she's going to be just fine.
That's what she's looking for, is somebody rich, first and foremost.
Yep. I really do. I believe it.
She's either gonna find a rich old man and be a sugar baby, or but her goal is different. She wants to be a movie star, so she's got her eyes set on that prize. She wants to be a movie star. She wants to be an actress, and that's what she wants. She's not gonna settle to just be, a stay-at-home wife or trophy wife. She wants to be out there doing stuff. So.
Well,
if Harvey Weinstein was still out, she would have got a job.
No, she probably would have got an extra, be an extra in one of the movies or something.
Yes,
but wearing a mask, like a costume, and you really don't know it's her, but she's an extra.
I feel like she definitely considers herself like a huge celebrity and stuff.
Yeah, of course. She's been on our television for about 3 years now.
Who knows?
So if she's on American television show back home, she's probably like considered a big movie star because she's on TV in America.
I'm just saying she has like a big ego. I feel like she has a big ego. Like she's like,
yeah, that's her ego. She gets bragging rights. Her mom is like, oh, my daughter's a movie star. She's on TV in America.
By the way, are her and Mike still married?
Who knows?
At this point, I don't even remember.
Because wouldn't that be
No,
she'd be able to
what's her
stay?
face? Debbie, Colt's mom, gave her the divorce papers
Oh
because she
yeah,
wouldn't
Oh,
accept
yeah.
them.
at the tell-all.
No, what Debbie
Yeah.
was saying,
Sure
don't
He
did.
sign.
served her.
Yeah,
He sure did.
but they were saying the advice that she got on the tell-all was don't sign this like on the spot and shit.
I mean, either way, I don't think it would have mattered if she was divorced or not, because she definitely has that they
Asylum,
the asylum
because her country's at war. Yeah.
yeah, so she definitely
Oh,
gets
that's
asylum.
true. That's
Yeah,
right.
from Ukraine and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
she
true.
definitely it wouldn't have mattered to her. She could have signed them and whatever.
Mhm.
And her mom is here too, so her mom,
Mhm.
whatever visa her mom was here with, it definitely turns into asylum for both of them.
Yeah, but by the way, real quick, and no one probably would know who I'm talking about as far as like you wouldn't be able to picture her. But as far as Big Mike, he's dating this chick. I forget. I mean, I could look her up, but I forget her name. But Big Mike is dating this one chick. I'm actually friends with her on Instagram. And then so here's a little Shabooty. Um, from my understanding is like TLC would love to, have Big Mike, whether it's on like Diaries or some other shit. So they've definitely offered Big Mike to be on at the very least Diaries, but then the new girlfriend wants no parts of it, even like Diaries. So she's not willing to sign the agreement to be on Diaries or anything
Good
else.
for her.
For
And she's the
her.
one that's shutting down all the like Big Mike being back on television. So I mean, if it was up to Big Mike, I feel like he probably would do it. But the new girlfriend is like ruling the roost and not having any parts of that.
Yeah, because it's like I said with those TLC contracts, once you sign for something, you're locked into, every
Right.
time they call you up, they want you to do a cameo on Diaries. We're seeing people on Diaries from like 5 seasons ago.
Yeah.
We still got
And they left a lot of those diary stories incomplete.
Right.
Well, first of all, let's start with this. Happy birthday, Liz. Let's all wish Liz.
Oh yeah. Happy
Oh, happy
birthday,
birthday,
Liz.
Liz.
Birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Liz. But then, okay, now let's get into like Liz. I don't know if y'all watched the actual Diaries with Liz.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
the Diaries with Liz and again, obviously, let's preface this with at least I can only speak for myself, but we love Liz. I adore Liz. Liz is amazing in every level. So we're all big fans of Liz. But having established that, as far as this specific like Diaries episode with her, it was so painful to watch in the sense of it's so fucking like outdated to like present day.
Right.
It's like it was weird because the Diaries made it seem like the Jason relationship was all new and stuff. So you're like, oh my God, we're being introduced more formally to the new boyfriend. We're learning about the new relationship. We're learning how she has to move to Seattle to make this new relationship work. She's what I mean? So it's like it was kind of like setting the plate for the relationship, blah blah blah. So that was pretty much the whole episode. And then but present day, it's so freaking outdated, and she's no longer with Jason
Right.
and she's moved on. And I probably shouldn't get into like specific details of her present day situation, but I feel like it's not that hard to figure out what's going on with Liz as far as like if you saw whatever. I should watch my words because obviously I love Liz. I don't want to say anything out of pocket, but let's just say she's fully moved on from Jason. So it just
Yes,
felt
she
very,
said it.
very outdated is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, they're outdated. But I also feel like with Diaries that they well, now with this new show coming out, Hunt for Love, I think it's like a prequel to the cast members that are going to be on Hunt for Love, even though we know their whole life stories. But if you notice, most of the people on Hunt for Love are going to be on Diaries, or going to be on Hunt for Love.
That was obviously like on purpose, like
Yeah,
to
so they're
promote the new cast member, well, the same cast members on the new show.
In
yeah.
TLC
So
fashion, they did cut some of the. I think they did cut some of the 90 days segments because I heard from people that were at this parade or whatnot that Debbie was at. She was like filming, like self filming, right?
You mean
Consistently.
Miss Debbie or Debbie Colt?
Colty's mother.
Colt's mom, right? So I heard from people like, oh, she was filming, and then like we would have to like stop and ask her for a picture or whatnot, and then she's just like, oh yeah, I'm just filming for like Diaries or whatever, right, or something like that. So they cut that part out. So I'm sure, like in true TLC fashion.
True. It would probably be too much to have the son and the mom on the same Diaries.
I just feel like it becomes redundant for the viewer to watch these people on Diaries and then 2 months later watch them again on Hunt for Love, and then we're gonna watch them on Pillow Talk, and then we got like, okay, if they're gonna be on Hunt for Love, we don't need to see them on Diaries. We're really not that interested in what they've been up to because we're about to see them all over again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't need to see all this.
Oh, there's going to be a Between the Sheets too for Hunt for Love.
Oh yeah, that wasn't on my topic list, but that's a good point. But it's weird. Like I know TLC posted the trailer for Between the Sheets, and then I think in my typical Shabooty smartass fashion, I replied. I was like, the only purpose for me, I basically told him like, as far as Between the Sheets season 1, the only usage / purpose for me was to kind of nail down Jasmine being pregnant.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's literally the only point of Between the Sheets for me.
Yeah, Between the Sheets was not entertaining at all.
Yeah, every segment they would show with Jasmine, I would always pause it and zoom in.
If you recall, the whole season of Last Resort was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I think I watched one episode.
Yeah, I gave up. I gave up on Last Resort like episode 5.
Well, yeah, like the whole season was shit. Last Resort season 2 was shitty as far as the regular season. No, Between the Sheets was like was basically had no value other than seeing Jasmine pregnant. And then I will say the first episode of the Tell All was amazing, and then it went downhill from
there. Yeah.
So literally, like the only amazing episode of the whole Last Resort season 2 was the Tell All episode 1.
Yeah, that pretty much summed up the whole season and all that other extra stuff they filmed.
I heard there's going to be another Last Resort. Is that true?
Well, yeah, that's what. Yeah, we'll get to it, but yeah, there'll be a new season based on my news post, but my news Instagram post. Well, I guess we could talk about it. So I did an Instagram post where it basically confirms Last Resort season 3. So I posted the questionnaire that the therapists have to fill out to apply. And the funny part is, a couple of people already hit me up and said, "Where's the link to actually apply?" And I sent it to them. And then a couple of people already applied based on my sending them the link. So
wow, that's cool.
But I guess I could pull it up real quick. So I had some questions. Some of them were interesting, and somebody made a funny point. They said out of the, I don't remember how many questions. So let me pull it up.
I think there was like 25 or something like that.
Well, somebody made a funny point. Somebody made a funny comment. They said out of the 27 questions, only like 3 or 4 of them has to do with your credentials, which shows how much they really about your credentials.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I'm like, does it say anything about criminal record checks or like any, like if they've been arrested?
Well, yeah, there's a section where it says basically they basically want to make sure. Well, yeah, they said they're going to do a background check on you, and then also like they want to know if there's anything like embarrassing in your background because they don't want like you to make the show look bad. So one of the things it says, have you ever done or been involved in anything that would reflect negatively on you or the program producers and or the television network and stations that broadcast the program if you are able or if you're chosen to participate in the program? So yeah, they want to make sure you don't have any like shit going on in your past or some shit.
Yeah, because God forbid they get a real licensed professional to be a therapist and not these, kids that do this like 30 internet therapist certificate program on the internet.
On the TV, get your course from a TV.
Yeah,
you
get from the back of the newspaper. Remember the penny savers that they used to go out? The back of the penny saver puts an ad out for therapy. Become a therapist for just $29.99, and they send for this shit, and then all of a sudden they're on our TV giving people advice. Like the lady that told Jasmine and Gina to open up their marriage. That would be a great idea.
We called them camp counselors.
Yeah, they're like kids.
I think the fact that everyone and their mama, including yours truly, were kind of criticizing the quality of the therapist. I think that's probably why they're doing this like casting questionnaire, because
Yes.
I think they're looking for a new batch of therapists because it was embarrassing how they were.
Have you guys ever heard of a therapist that tells you more about their life than your life?
You mean the one talking with those talking to Jasmine?
Yes.
No, yeah,
I mean,
that's
come
like
on now. Therapists don't tell you about their lives. They're there to help you.
no, that's what everyone said that like a real therapist wouldn't. That's like I don't know what the word. I don't want to. I don't know if like unethical is the word, but it's not like it's not how it would really happen in real life. Like it doesn't go down that way.
Well, she basically praised Jasmine for wanting to do it, and basically was telling her how great it was. And
Yeah,
then once things fell through and went terrible for Jasmine and them, then she came out and said, I had nothing to do with that.
yeah, she took no accountability.
Yes.
Yeah, like that was that was so awful. So I do hope they get rid of most of them. But yeah, as far as like questions, let me see if there's any interesting questions to bring up on the podcast as far as the questionnaire. Let's see. Have you done well, I could read through them, but let's see. Have you done couples retreats before? Why are you passionate about your work? Please include your social media. And then somebody said they were, I don't want to say I feel like appalled is too strong of a word, but somebody said they were kind of like taken aback by please upload a full body photo. Somebody said, why do they want like a full body photo? Aren't they worried about, don't they want like quality therapy, or are they
Exactly.
looking for a hot
How their body looks.
Yeah, are they looking for a hot person or a quality therapist? Obviously, the answer is a hot person.
You got to be aesthetically pleasing to the eye.
Yeah,
Exactly. I saw that too. I'm like, why are you asking
so that the
pictures?
viewers will be more focused on how you look and not the kind of therapy you're giving.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
long as you're cute. We don't need your credentials.
yeah. So as far as like credentials and shit, it says like, what are your certifications and qualifications? Are you a coach, a therapist? Please include any distinctions, accolades, or specializations. Notice how it didn't say any. Notice how it didn't say like degrees.
That's what I said.
No.
Oh wait,
It's
oh, I
not
think-
a
okay.
degree.
The next question does kind of say, it says like, tell us about your background. How long have you been in your line of work, and do you even have a degree? So,
Wow.
I embellished a little bit. It just says, do you have a degree? It doesn't say, do you have a degree?
Did you
can apply
apply,
for that
Shabooty?
Huh?
Did you apply?
No, but I'm sure I'm qualified compared to the rest of the quacks.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, it would be fun to like lecture all those nudniks and tell them how fucked up they are. No. But and then it says like, are you self-employed or an independent contractor, or are you part of a firm or organization? And then, oh, this is interesting. It says like, give us an example of your unconventional and unique therapeutic methods, aka, are you willing to tell Rob to shove a hot stone up his ass for therapy purposes? No, just kidding. Because they always have wackadoodle ass therapies. Let's see.
That would be good. They got a therapist that's really a quack. I mean, out of his mind quack, and starts giving random advice.
Or just random shit, like makeup shit, like like it's like because they always have like tools for the therapy, like sandbox. I'm not saying that's not a real therapy, but like sandbox therapy or like screaming therapy. So they always have them do like weird activities.
Yeah, punch each other in the face.
Yeah, that's my type of therapy.
Yeah, why don't you punch each other in the face? And that'll help you feel better about the person. I'm just curious to see how these couples are going to match up. That's my curiosity on Hunt for Love.
True. I'm always like, anytime of the couples are like fighting, like Shekinah and Sarper had a fight. Sometimes I'm like, oh, are they fighting so they could like prepare them for Last Resort season 3?
Yeah, we've watched the show. We've watched the show long enough to see the signs.
Yep.
When we're gonna see a couple on another show.
And look at how quiet Jasmine is right now. Something.
Yeah, Jasmine's preparing for her next either Single Life or Hunt for Love.
Yep.
Well, I think Jasmine probably already filmed something with Matt, so she's just waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
And she, what's interesting about Jasmine? Like, it's so embarrassing, but I think it's something I called. So when she had her baby, it was when she had her baby, so she finally said the date of her birth, and people were like, "Well, why would she finally say what the actual birthday was? Like, doesn't she like to keep things kind of mysterious?" And I said the main reason she's listing the actual date of birth finally is because every subsequent month from this day forward, she's going to repost the birthday gift list. So you could buy her baby a 1 month gift, and then you could buy her baby a 2 month birthday gift, and then you could buy her baby a 3 month birthday gift. And right on cue of the Shabooty tea is exactly like I just said. 2 months birthday was just a few days ago, so she posted the gift list for the 2 month birthday. So she's
Oh my God, is
every
she really
fucking month.
doing that?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So
So
every
we're gonna be buying this baby gifts until she's 18.
for every month until 18, yeah.
So she said we'll give her 18th birthday's coming up. She needs a car.
I don't know who's worse at grifting, her or President Trump.
They're one and the same. She figured out how to milk the system.
Yes, she
She
did.
definitely figured out how to milk the system. She figured, you know what? As long as there's people willing to buy me shit, I'm gonna keep posting. And people, sure enough, are buying her gifts.
I know, that's so awful. That's so embarrassing.
But that goes hand in hand with her OnlyFans.
Mhm.
Oh, true.
A lot of her gifts are coming from her OnlyFans people. Because I highly doubt any 90-day viewers are buying her gifts.
Oh no, they are.
Well, they are. It's a bunch of broads that are like super fans of her that love being
Oh
married.
yeah, she does have an army of sympathizers that she did the right thing by getting pregnant by another man while she was still married.
Exactly.
Because
they're all damn dummies.
Yeah, they agreed that Gino was, a bad husband and he wouldn't give her none. So, what else can you do?
It's a bunch. She has her fans are. It's like a army of angry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of angry women
Of angry Gino haters.
Yeah, Gino haters, or probably just women who wish they can just have an open marriage and are living vicariously through her actions.
Or they're cheating just like she did, so they feel her.
They sympathize with her.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Then they come give me. Then they can come give yours truly shit. For being friends with Gino.
So
well, I mean,
her
if you
her OF doesn't have an Amazon gift list.
No, but the people that follow her on OnlyFans, also she probably tells them, and you can follow me on Amazon for my gift list, and then
she just said, ask me for my PO box for gifts.
Yeah, ask me more questions about my box.
She posts the Amazon gift list on her Instagram stories.
She does.
Yeah,
she does.
So
I bet she gets a lot of creepy stuff too. We just don't know about it.
Yeah, imagine you get a baby back.
Let's not act like she's some innocent angel in her past. She's a little creepy baby herself. You know what I mean? She's a little sexy.
Yeah, she gets a baby bassinet and then some butt plugs.
Exactly. She gets a
in the same box. In the same box as her baby bassinet, she gets a bunch of adult toys.
Yeah, she gets like a bib and a strap on in the same.
Yeah, or a rattle and a dildo.
Exactly.
And a pacifier big enough for her mouth.
She definitely needs that. But I'm curious to see when we're going to see her next. Not that I look forward to it, because there's nothing I enjoy more than dragging Jasmine. But it'll be interesting to see where TLC shifts her over to.
Well,
it's like one of those employees that they're problematic, so the company can't fire them, so they just keep shifting from department to department.
True. And did you see the video I posted? I mean, this was kind of viral, but so you do have Gino filming like in the Detroit waterfront. Did you see that video?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Gino's out there.
Yeah, he's filming too. I mean, quiet as it's kept, he's making his money off of TLC as well.
Yeah.
He's getting his props off of TLC as well.
He sure is.
And he's probably getting pussy like he's never gotten before. So.
Well, yeah, the new chick looks like a hotter, younger version of Jasmine. So.
Yeah, which means Gino can pull him in.
Yeah, he can pull him in.
Yeah.
Now, he's probably not relationship material. He just likes eye candy. So.
But but I bet. I mean, I bet the move though is like, let's say you're a regular chick, a regular woman or whatever, and you're on like a date. And I'm not even talking about like being filmed for the show, but it just, I mean, like in regular life without the show, I mean, without the cameras, but you're on like a date with Gino and then you're out and about like at a restaurant, where Gino's kind of exciting because you know him from like TV. And then like a fan you're at dinner and then a fan runs up to Gino and says, "Oh my God, I'm so excited to see you, Gino. I love you on the show. Like, you can get a photo." And then,
Yeah, the attention.
yeah, the attention, it's like his date. It's kind of exciting. Like you're kind of impressed because you're like, wow, these fans are so excited to see you. I'm kind of impressed. You look like a happening guy. I'm kind of turned on.
Yeah.
And I've seen a couple of pictures and posts of him not wearing a hat.
Yeah.
He's
I think that
kind of embraced it.
the girl they set him up with is super hot. So I'm thinking TLC might have, she might be one of those TLC interns that they got for him. Because how is he
Paid
gonna pick up?
actress.
Yeah, paid actress. He's not gonna pick
Actress,
up. You're not gonna pick up a chick that hot that quickly.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
That's gonna be scripted for television, because he's a fan favorite. So let's throw Gino together with some hot babe.
So true. Okay, and speaking of hot babe, different subject, but did you see Kara's newest tattoo?
And now I did not.
Yes, it's huge.
So
I
it's
think
kind
I
of,
did.
how do I just, it's like a lot, it's the front half is like a lioness, and then the back half is a woman's booty, like arched up.
Yeah, a big ass.
Yeah, yeah.
I could say, Captain,
I thought I saw it.
Captain, I could send you the link if you want.
Yeah, send me the. I didn't see that. I've been out of the loop for a couple days, for about 7 days.
All right, I'm
That
gonna
definitely ain't her booty.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's not badly built, but her booty's probably. I mean, now with the money she's getting from TLC, she probably got a little enhancement too.
That's true.
Sure.
Because
So,
they all go to the same plastic surgeon. So,
Captain, I sent you the photo in the text chat. So tell me what you think of the tattoo. It's still a work in progress, meaning like it still needs to be completed, but
Yeah, it's not done.
yeah.
I just think it's too damn big.
Yeah, I guess it's on her ribs. So
actually, what you sent me that's not what you sent me. I clicked link and I saw Riley talking about something. Here's Carol tattoo.
Oh, I see. Riley.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's nice. I mean, well, if you're into that kind of shit,
right?
The comment section was a little brutal.
Yeah,
I love Kara, so I hate to do this, but do you want me to read some of the nasty comments?
That would be very nice.
Yes,
because I'm feeling it.
Okay, so Kara, you my girl behind Liz, but I still got to read these like nasty comments because it's entertaining. So here is coming some of the hate comments on the tattoo. It says, "Who told her this was a good idea?" This one says, "Oh," then somebody said in French chat, pronounce Sha. Oh, Sha. But basically, I was saying like she should, because it has a booty on the tattoo, and I was like, she should put Sha in front of it, so it'd be like Shabooty, and instead it's like a cat is in front of the tattoo. And somebody said in French, Sha is cat, so the big cat. So this is a big cat, so technically it does say Shabooty.
There you go.
Exactly. Maybe she's in love with me. Let's see. So somebody says, "What the fuck?" This person says, "The quality is good, but the design is cringe." Someone says, "Alrighty then." This one says, "I ran straight to the comments and y'all are not disappointing." This one says, "Beautiful girl, but poor choice." This one says, "At least the work is good, laugh out loud, not all scratchy and dug out." This one says, "I love it." This one says, "What the fuck? This is hideous." This one,
I don't know if I would have went with the lion head in the front.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a beautiful girl. She should have had her own face there.
True. This one says, "Is she in a manic episode?" This one says, "She's such a corny." And I love you, Cara, but this one says, "She's such a corny chick. I think she's having a midlife crisis or something." And then this one says, "Why?" And
I mean, I can't be too hard on her about the choice of tattoo, because when I went through my first divorce many years ago from my daughter's father, I went and got a tattoo, my first tattoo, and I got it on my lower back. And I have gone through so many places to try to cover it up, but they like the only way we can cover it is if we go bigger. So I really don't want like a big giant thing on my back anymore. So I'm like, you know what? Hopefully it'll just fade away. I don't even show my back that often. So, you know,
Like
Can I ask what is
it?
it? Sorry.
it's a butterfly, right? It's a butterfly, and then in the center of the butterfly, it's like the eyes, like the body of the butterfly, your two eyes, and then the wings are coming out. Now,
Yeah.
now, and I went to a reputable place in New York City in the Village. The tattoo was supposed to be like maybe like 4 or 5 inches, like a little, little bullseye tattoo, like they call it, a tramp stamp. And it turned out to be like this massive 6-inch hideous tattoo. And when I saw it finally completed, I wanted to rip my skin off, but I couldn't.
Oh my God. That's in perfect JLP fashion.
I've been so mad about that fucking tattoo for the past 30 years. I'm like, God, what was I fucking thinking? And so since like I said, I don't show it. I pretend it's not there anymore. But every now and then, like on my cruise, I wore a 2-piece, and I look in the mirror and I was like, oh my God, I forgot I had that fucking thing back there. I was
you're like, I need to cover up my tattoo with a
yeah.
giant. No, you're stepping on my joke. You need to. You're like, I need to cover up my giant. I need to cover up my tattoo with a giant pineapple.
I know, right? I should have just said
upside down pineapple.
If they would have done tattoos on the cruise, I would have gotten drunk and said, you know what, draw a cruise ship or some shit back there with that fucking. And no, I was so mad when I went on the cruise. I was so mad that when I realized that I had that back there, I said, you know what, these people are gonna see this, and just laugh at me, because there's so many people with like these nice elaborate tattoos, real nice ink work. You see a lot of people with fancy shit on. And I'm like, here I come with this fucking hideous thing on my back. And it's not like you say, well, she has a nice body, so that makes up for the fucked up tattoo she has. But I'm getting up there in age, so my body's not like prime. So I said, I got this shitty body with a fucked up tattoo. They're gonna laugh me off this cruise. I took it off. I took off the 2-piece. I took off my 2-piece and put on a 1-piece. I said, you know what? It's a 1-piece from now on. I'm not. So my husband's like, well, why'd you change your bathing suit? It looked great. I was like, you see all the artwork up there these people have, all these fancy tattoos and sleeves and all these bright colors. And here I come with this fucking retarded looking tattoo, a butterfly that looks like possessed butterfly that's like 10 inches large on my back. It looks like
the good part about that, JLP, is that you're gonna come to age one day where you're not gonna give a fuck what people think.
I know. Exactly. I was like, you know what?
I already don't give a fuck. So
yes. So my husband says, listen, once you're there, the people are going to see it, whatever. And you're going to only be on this cruise for another couple of days. Nobody's even going to remember. I said, you know how social media is. People are going to take snapshots of this and post it all over the place and post it all over. They'll be like, look at this fucking tattoo.
It's going to be like 90-Day Fiance Fridays co-host with...
yeah, they're like, JLP's tattoo is shit. She got a lot of nerve talking shit online.
You know what, Captain? 2 of my tattoos have already faded. I got them back in 2004, and they're on my thighs, and they've already like faded in color. I need to see if I can get one of my girlfriends.
I would never do that again. That's the only tattoo. And then the second tattoo I got, which was very small, it's just the date on my wrist, which is just numbers. The date that my mom passed, I had that tattooed on my wrist. But then I was like, I'll never go into another tattoo place again. And that was all behind a breakup, my first divorce.
Yeah, we do some dumb shit.
I know, we do some dumb shit. I was going through
I have Tinkerbell. I have, what was it? the Portugal flag. I have the Portugal crest on me when they won the Euro Cup. And I have a tribal penguin. Me and my girlfriends got it. We were drunk one day. We made an appointment, and the next day we were in getting the appointment for the tattoos.
As far real quick though, let me just see if there's any more funny comments in the Cara post real quick. Let's see. This one says, "Oh, not a fan of it, but as long as she likes it." This one says, "She's getting trashier by the minute. First, the low class clothing to this. I'm glad uh, Guillermo left her. Super unclassy. Poor kiddo as well. And as an ex Charlottesvillian, this behavior is going to have her look upon as unclassy, and that town is too small."
Oh,
What
Jesus.
kind of a
Oh,
Karen post?
was that the minister, the town minister posted that?
Yeah, that was like a very Karen post.
Yeah, I don't think she's trashy. I just think the tattoo would have been better if she would have put her face and not that lion head thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, right? It's kind of weird looking.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
So,
weird
real quick,
looking.
I mean, it looks like her and that goddamn lion are butt fucking.
Or that the
Yeah.
lion, or that she ate the lion and the head is sticking out her.
And then,
She's eating a lion.
That is so true.
let me just go through last comments. What the fuck? Tramp stab? Question mark. This one says, well, let's see it finish and hold off on the funny comments. This one says, what the fuck? What went through her head thinking this is good? Gross. This one says, is this real though? And then this one says, Sha hyphen booty. This one says, might as well be a bullseye. This one posted a GIF that it says it's grotesque. This one says, what the hell? This one says, laugh out loud, Jesus. This one says, why?
Where'd she get it exactly? On her back?
Like on her ribs or some shit.
Oh.
And then
Oh, that's painful. Like on your rib cage.
She went through all that. She went through all that pain for that shit.
this one says, she's wild. This says, this is so trashy. This one says, well, it's definitely a tattoo. And this one says, ew, but par for her. She's nasty. And the final one just says, ew. So there's a lot of hater ass Karens in the comments.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, she should have, you know, when they stencil it first and then they like stick it on you like a decal, like one of those water decals before they actually start inking. They decal you to see if you like it. She should have lived with the decal for a couple days before she got it inked.
Yeah.
I wish I would have did that. If he would have stenciled me and said, "Go home and come back in 3 days if you still want it." If you still want it, I'll do it for free.
He's like, go home and stare at this butterfly on fentanyl and see if you still want it 3 days later.
Oh, why does this remind me of like, oh, what was it called? It was a book that I read when I was in high school, and the kids are like, oh, Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies.
Ah,
yeah.
Lord of the Flies.
Oh God. No, and you know what's even worse? That I went with my sister to get it, and she's cheering me on all the way. Oh man, that shit looks hot. That shit looks hot. And I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, it's coming out really nice. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, oh yeah, I got a tattoo. She's like, yeah, it's coming out real hot. It's nice. It's nice. She's like, you're gonna look hot with that.
Is the same sister who's gone across country to look for the?
No, my younger, well, not younger, the one before me. I'm the youngest, but she comes, and we're close in age. She's like, yeah, that shit's hot. Yeah, she's in Puerto Rico. I hope she finds them in Puerto Rico. She went on vacation. She went to Puerto Rico and to Colombia on vacation. She's going with her friends. I hope she finds the burger over there.
It sounds like she was instigating your tramp stamp.
Yeah, and she was like, yeah, it looks really great. I think she wanted me to get it purposely because it was so horrible. And then I go home and I look at it a couple of days and I'm like,
you said this is your sister, right?
Yeah. And then my ex-husband saw it, and he was like, "Really? That's what of all the things they had in the tattoo shop, you ended up with that?" He's like, "I'm really here's the divorce papers."
Well, that tattoo is probably why he's my ex-husband.
Yeah, he was like, I was gonna tell you to let's work this out, but after I see that tattoo, here's your papers.
I'm not gonna be married to a bitch with no sense.
Yeah, bitch, what, you used my child support money for that shit.
He was like, you don't have the sense God gave geese. What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, he was like,
that?
I thought he was gonna see me with him and be like, "Oh shit, that is hot. I want you back." He saw that shit. He was like, "What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?" I
Well,
felt
Kara's
so
gonna be,
horrible.
she's gonna be JLP one day because she's gonna regret that in 6 months. Watch.
I'm telling you,
Yep, she
there's
is.
nothing. I have very few regrets in my life, but that's one of them.
Mhm.
That is my number one regret. I wish somebody would have talked me out of that.
Yes.
Your sister definitely was.
Yeah, she was like, "Yeah, it looks great. It looks great." And I'm like, "Okay." And then she sees it now, and she's like, "Oh, you should really get that. Like, you should get that taken care of. You should get that covered
No
up."
shit, Sherlock. Would have been helpful if you told me that.
I was like,
shit.
"I've had it for about 30 years. What do you think?"
True. All right, different subject. Did any of y'all watch Diaries? Are there any like topics related to Diaries? I mean, we talked about Liz on Diaries, but are there any?
I just watched the last 30 minutes and was like Liz, Kim, and Tyree, and it seems like I didn't miss much. So,
What do
Tyre
you think
before
like
that.
Big Ed's date?
I didn't see it this way, so you guys got to fill me in.
Yeah, me too. I didn't see it either.
Did you? So did you or did you not see the Big Ed date?
I did.
Nope.
I seen it.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was a good date, but I don't know why the hell he took her to a haunted house.
Yeah,
What?
kind of goofy.
That's where he took her on their first date. He took her through a haunted house.
I mean, it's funny because
Oh
like he
my
did a
God.
work there as one of the like scary people.
Yeah, right. You could have been like a little goblin, like a little goblin.
A necklace goblin. It's pretty scary. And that's
A
coming around the
troll.
corner.
He's a troll.
Yeah, troll,
Troll doll. Yeah.
like a bridge troll.
Like
Yeah.
he took her there. He's like, hey, these are my people.
So they
And
showed.
his girlfriend set him up with her. And he sat there and let them pick his damn hairs out of his nose and his ears and his eyebrows.
What the flying?
Yes. Yes.
God, I guess I'm glad I missed it.
Me too.
You know,
I think I'm glad I missed that episode.
I wonder if she's like an actress that they hired off Craigslist or some shit.
Yeah, probably. We'll
Give
pay you
Big
50
Ed some
bucks.
pump up.
Mhm.
I think that's another one we might be seeing again, because he was on Diaries.
Yep.
So these
Yeah.
people on Diaries, I've deduced that they are coming back.
Yeah, I feel like we'll see him somewhere somehow.
We're gonna see him again. If I have to guess, we're probably gonna see him on Hunt for Love.
He's gonna be on something. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, he's gonna be on something because he's a TLC favorite.
Yep. And people love to hate him, so they're gonna put him on
Yep.
every time.
If Angela wouldn't have fucked up, she would have been on our TV still. She would have still been on either Hunt for Love or The Single Life.
Exactly.
She
Yeah,
would have definitely been on The Single Life.
and then I don't know. So again, I guess a lot of people didn't watch Diaries, but then like Kimberly was on, and then it was weird because like, so apparently I'm pretty sure. So I tweeted about it, but it was like the Timu Usman. So there's this guy that she went on a date with, but it wasn't like it wasn't a situation where it's like, hey, I'm going on this like blind date or whatever. Or, like,
Nope.
date.
The guy looked way younger for her.
Yeah,
way too young.
Basically, though, I think it was like a former like fling.
Yes, because she said it herself that the sex was good.
Yeah, it was. But it was like that was kind of like a desperate storyline. Like, yeah, I haven't been with a guy in a couple years, so let me go hit up like some guy I banged a couple years ago.
That was probably set up also by TLC.
Yeah.
She probably never seen that guy in her life.
She went and told everybody that she hasn't had sex since Usman. Who does that? Nobody has any business when I last had sex.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's between me and my box. That's between me and my cookie box.
I don't know, but yeah, she went to the well and found Timo Usman from her Rolodex of past Yammies that she banged, and basically dug him out of the whatever woodwork. And then the way they went on a date is if they hadn't already hooked up in the past. So it seemed very like, I don't know. It just seemed like let's do. It was just kind of like It was just kind of like when you're trying to have a storyline and there's nothing new on the horizon, and then you
again, we're gonna see this person on our screens again, and that they're gonna take her off the couch and throw her into something else.
Well, okay, I do have some inside information, and all I can say is yes, we'll see her soon in the future on like another 90-day show.
I know. That's what that Diaries is. Diaries is giving you a refresher course on these folks that you're going to see again. Because you know how sometimes you see them, you're like, oh, I don't remember this person. Oh, I don't remember. Because a lot of people, when they saw Fernanda, they were like, oh, what season was she from? But Fernanda was already on the Single Life. So she's
that's how I really got to know her. I didn't watch that season that she was on.
I watched her first season. So Fernanda's definitely going on Hunt for Love because she already did Single Life.
Yeah, she did.
And that's what she's aiming for, that model type whatever, and she's so yeah, she's gonna be on there.
I like her.
I don't hate her, but like, okay, I've had enough.
Who are we talking about again? Sorry.
Fernanda.
Oh yeah, she's pretty, but she's kind of dopey.
She's messing up her looks. Definitely messing up her looks. Her face is starting to look square like a dude. Like she got that chin and those cheekbones.
She got the manly jawline and shit.
Yeah, she got I don't know if it's a chin that she got implanted there, and then her cheekbones or something. But she's chasing that model dream, and she's fucking up her looks.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, like Lori in the comments, she said, this is more of like a somber comment, but she says, hi, everyone. I've missed you all terribly. I have been with my mom in the hospital, so the replays have helped me find some joy.
Oh.
Shout out to Lori, and I hope your mom is okay.
Yeah, shout out to Lori. I know Lori.
Yeah. We help a lot of people laugh through, like, while they're going through hard times. We, like, take their mind off of the hard times, is what I'm trying to say.
Yep. I sure did it for me.
True. It even does it for me because I'll listen to the replays the next day and I'm always really entertained.
I listened to the replays like yesterday and I was like, people were looking at me.
Gina it'll tell us, Gina, you went back and listened to like your new favorite episode. So tell us which one that is.
When it was the Jasmine and rubbing it in all the haters' faces, like, oh, I told you so. And then it was Shabooty getting catfished by what's her face? Oh my god,
Mahogany.
Shabooty. Trying so hard. People were looking at me because I was just like, I was outside in public. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this psychopath? She's just laughing to herself.
Yeah, if you all never listened, because there's a lot of people that like find out about our podcast, like, you know, every week there's like new people that find it for the first time. And you know, somebody may follow me and then I'll send them our podcast. So they may not have known about our, you know, the most storied episodes in our archive. So if you haven't listened to even though it's old news at this point as far as Jasmine, but go back and it has a custom cover art. Find the Jasmine Emergency Podcast, because there's obviously we're talking about Jasmine, but then there's a funny segment where like I got catfished by a fake Mahogany, and there's like audio clips from the catfish that are hilarious. It is amazing radio.
It was a great episode. I think all our episodes are great.
So that was a great episode. And then it's like, listen to that. And then you should listen to the episode immediately after that, because Liz was on. And then we were kind of filling in Liz about what we just talked about, which is like the catfishing. So then Liz was on. Then I had to relive the nightmare of being catfished with Liz on the air, who I adore. And I don't want to come across like a douchebag to Liz. So it was a harrowing experience. So go back to listen to both those episodes. They're classics, instant classics. Because like to catfish the Tea King is like crazy.
Yeah. You almost fell for it. You were getting ready to have host Mahogany on your podcast.
Oh, we laughed so hard.
We
And
laughed.
George knew it.
Yeah.
George knew it from the jump.
I was excited to have her as a celebrity guest. Though the one thing I will say, and you can't deny it, I knew at the end of the day it's gonna be good podcast radio. So
yeah, it was good radio.
A good bit.
Yes.
I turned
it
it into
was.
comedy gold. All right, let's see what other topics do we have. We basically have like 2 topics left. We're buzzing through, now that George isn't here.
No, and it's good because it's a long holiday, so people want to get an early start for their weekend if they are listening.
That's true.
So it's a good that we buzz through really quick.
Actually, I realized so let's see. We already talked about the Last Resort 3 and the questionnaire. So actually we have one topic left, and it's going to require, assuming Gina has them, the last thing
do.
Strip club review.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm just getting them all set up for you guys.
I will give an update. I mean, it's not like an update as far as like progress, but as far as an update on Triple XP, so I did message him on Facebook, and he is still not responded to any of my messages on any platform. So
it could be archived under message requests, because that's what usually happens.
Maybe he's away at sea. Didn't you guys say he was in the Navy?
We figured out he's like retired Navy now.
Oh, okay.
But he's probably he's an older guy. He probably doesn't really like. He probably doesn't check his like his random messages from non-friends and shit. But I did try to message him on Facebook, and somebody says, I think it's probably because you're a guy. So I will say, my favorite Jenny from Toronto, she volunteered and said, hey, if you want, I could slide in Triple XB's DMs and kind of use my womanly charms on him and see if
yeah, that'll work. She's one of the strippers. She's one of the strippers from the club he's visited.
Oh yeah. So Jenny volunteered, but yeah, that's a good idea. I could tell Jenny, because I don't know how much JLP you've listened to Jenny on the show, but she's definitely like not afraid of like sexual talk.
Oh, I know Jenny. I remember Jenny. That was the guy with the penis, the whale penis.
Yes.
That had the blowhole.
Circumcision, the force.
Yeah.
No, that had the blowhole in the top.
Yeah. Her. So she's obviously not shy when it comes to penises. But we could have her message up and pretend like she's a stripper, and it'll be funny if you replied to her.
That would be excellent.
Yeah. So, okay. So, Gina, send me what's it called? The strip club reviews.
Strip clubs? Yep. Just working on it, just making sure my screenshots are not duplicated. That's all. So, what else is to talk about this week?
I think the ones from California are always the best.
Well, you're biased.
We've done some from California.
Yes, you did, and they were so good.
But we only cover the strip clubs that he's visited.
Yeah.
We don't do random strip clubs.
Oh.
Right? No, that's what I'm asking. We don't do random strip clubs.
Initially the bit started where it was like strip clubs featured on 90 Day Fiancé, but eventually we ran out. But then we realized all the funny Triple X beasts were like showing up. So then it was any club at Triple X beasts has been at. So yeah.
Yeah, because we gotta. I have a couple here in my area. I'm gonna look through their reviews to see if I see him in there, in here in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. Like I'll hear stories of people who listen to our podcast, and they'll say, like this one woman, she was saying, like I was listening to it, and then I don't forget who it was. The guy, whoever the man in her life is, was saying like I was listening to it, and then he was listening along, and all of a sudden he was all enthralled by this talk about Triple X Beast, and he was all like, all of a sudden he's like a fan of Triple X Beast too, and he wanted to like, go back and listen to old episodes, and he wanted to see his photos. And he's not even necessarily a 90 Day fan, but he was like caught up in the whole Triple X Beast, hoopla.
Yeah, no, my husband, a couple times I've been listening. He comes around, and catches the tail end when we're doing the strip club reviews, and he sits quietly to listen.
Oh,
He sits quietly and listens to all the reviews. I tell him, don't make a sound. The mic is open.
Yeah, no, you know me, I'm all a stickler with the sound. I'm like, well,
I know. I told him, don't you make a sound. His mic is open.
yeah.
Did you listen to the playbacks by any chance, Captain?
Well, I just got back, so I haven't had a chance to do that for last week's, right?
Whenever you were gone.
Yeah, I missed last week, so I would have to catch up. I listened to
Oh,
last week's
I
playback.
forgot. Yeah. So wait, JLP. So have you seen do you know what he looks like or what? Triple X piece.
No.
Okay.
Oh shit!
oh,
We unveiled his photos last week.
No, I remember I was on the ship. I had no Wi-Fi.
Okay. So that was the whole, the zenith.
Yeah, I remember seeing when I spoke before I left. The last information I had was that Gina had found him or something.
Yeah, Gina and I in collaboration. Well, she found him, and then we long story long, we found him together.
That was the last bit of information I had about Triple X. So
before I read, 1 second, before I read like Gina's like photos, what we could do is send you the photos, and then you could react live, and then we could get into like the strip club reviews.
Yeah,
all right,
please do.
go ahead.
There's quite a few of them for this one, so I'm just organizing everything. So please do.
Send me the photos. Let me see who this sicko is.
Okay, I guess I'll just text you the photos. I'm gonna give me a second. I have them saved. Okay, so let me find them real quick. Okay, so I'm purposely gonna start with like, it's gonna escalate, meaning like we'll save the hit, like the shittier photo first, and then we'll end with the more obvious photos. So the first photo I'm gonna send you is him in this like gas mask that's like it's a 15-year-old photo. So you're not really gonna get a good gauge of him, but that's on purpose because we want like the buildup.
All right.
I'm gonna text you one by one. 1 second. I'm gonna text you like one by one. Okay, so I just texted you the gas mask photo to the group chat. Do you see it?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well that's that's not really, that's more of like to get you.
All right. Okay.
Okay, now this photo is him in like sunglasses. I'm pretty sure this is probably a super recent photo, probably the most recent photo because it's from one of his social media profiles. But here he is, Triple X Beast in his sunglasses. Give us your thoughts. Coming in hot on the tech. Okay, what do you think?
Okay. I kind of imagined him looking like that a little bit. I don't even know. That's a contrast from the top to the top photo to the bottom photo.
Yeah, that's like a 15-year difference. Okay, here's a more revealing photo. This one may be a little older than the sunglasses photo, but you got a better look at him.
No, that's him in the Santa hat.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
No bullshit. He's a people person. He's interacting with, people.
Oh Jesus, no way.
Okay, there's one more photo.
No way.
Okay, one more photo that Triple X Beast. Ready? Okay, here you go. Final photo. What do you think?
Final photo.
Does it make sense? He's wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
And George predicted that.
JLP, I can't hear you.
No way. No way. No fucking way.
Triple X Beast. The goats.
The beast.
Oh shit! I would have never guessed that was him.
That's the greatest of all time.
Oh my god, that's the
That's the guy with strippers on his laugh. Like,
yeah, he's one horny old bastard, ain't he?
Yeah, this is the strip club connoisseur, right? He looks like a manager at Applebee's.
Yeah, he looked like he's the day shift guy at Chili's.
Yeah, Yeah, he looks like the seating host at TGI Friday. He does happy hour.
Yeah, he looks like he does like trivia night at your local bar. Like he's
No, he looks like he sings karaoke on cruise ships.
yeah.
Oh my God. Is that what the karaoke, like the MC would look like on your cruise ship, Captain?
Yeah. No, just regular karaoke. People getting up to do karaoke. He looks like one of those guys that go on cruise ships just to do karaoke.
Does he look like somebody that would have a pineapple on his shirt?
He most definitely looks like he would walk into one of the pineapple rooms looking for some action.
True.
He must have a wife that doesn't give a damn. Maybe he gets on her damn nerves, so she likes when he leaves. So she doesn't care that he goes to all these strip clubs.
Yeah, she's probably an old stripper herself.
Well, somebody said that last week, I think.
That is true.
She's probably a retired stripper, and they frequent them together. True. This is the guy that has been
retired, like Brenda.
Yeah, she's a retired pole dancer. That is fucking hilarious. You guys are the best.
You know that you got to go back and listen to last week's episode because we unveiled the photos live and everyone was freaking out.
Everybody on the podcast saw that shit.
Yeah, we were all trying to guess what he looks like and all of that. It was so good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I noticed also? Someone just asked about one of his reviews, but I noticed also that he does at least 2 per state. He doesn't really go like he wouldn't go to 5, 6
a lot more, but either they're not funny enough or they're kind of vulgar, too vulgar to say on the podcast. So they've been executed correctly.
Oh, he is a horny old bastard.
Yeah. Did Coco see the photos?
That's a good question because she was on in the early part of the show, but then she like dropped off. So yeah. I don't know.
I would have loved to hear Coco's take on that
shit. Okay, we have 20 reviews tonight before we end the show.
We got more than that. Hold on 1 second here. Just gotta make sure.
Should I start reading them or what?
Yeah, you can start reading them, and then as always, save the best for last.
Okay, so this is for Club Madonna. Do you remember where it is?
It's in Florida.
Miami?
Yeah.
I feel like it's in Miami, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard of is it Madonna? I know Madonna owns like a restaurant, but is this different?
I think this is different.
Okay. Well, this is Club Madonna in Miami. All right, here's like y'all ready for the 1-star strip club reviews?
Yeah, bring it on.
Okay, so let's see. This is 1-star, and I haven't read these in advance. This is David, 1-star review.
Oh, can I ask? Because Captain, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Do you want to take a stab at what his name is?
Oh God, he looks like let me look at the photo one more time. The last one. He looks like a Jeffrey or Peter.
Oh, what the fuck? No way.
He looks like a Jeffrey.
Fucking crazy.
You listened to the show last week?
No, I was on
his name is Jeff.
Oh shit! Really?
There's no way.
Get the fuck out of here!
There's no way you just made that up without.
I swear on my life.
There's no way.
I swear on my life. I was out of the country. I had no internet. I did not hear your podcast last week.
Jeff.
That is crazy, JLP. That's fucking nuts.
Oh shit!
That's it correctly.
Oh shit!
There's no way.
He looks like a Jeffrey.
I did say.
Damn, I'm good.
You are the goat.
Damn.
I am. Look at that. Yay me, and I'm gonna make myself a martini just for that.
We can rub it in George's face. It took him about 3 or 4 tries.
I was gonna say Peter, but then I was like, you know what? He looks kind of like a Jeff.
There's no way you guess that first time.
Yeah, because I'm thinking,
talk about a mic drop.
I know.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a man, like a seating host or a manager, one of these local, food. I'm like, what? He looks like a manager of one of
Go
these
buy a
local
lottery
joints.
ticket, JLP.
I'm
Go
gonna
buy a
buy one
lottery
tomorrow.
ticket.
Yes,
I'm-
his full name is Jeff Luke Piccard.
oh shit! Oh man, look at that. And I wasn't even trying.
Hard.
Crazy. I can't wait. I can't wait for people to hear that segment. They're gonna say, "Man, you must have like texted. You must."
No, I swear to
No, and
God.
I swear I didn't tell.
I swear to God,
I
I
didn't tell her either, because why would I be
I
asking
had,
her?
I had like 200 text messages in our chat.
Yes, because I haven't seen you online for over a week for sure.
Exactly. And I
Yeah,
had like
I haven't
200
seen you post anything.
and I had like 200 text messages on our group chat, and I was like, I'm gonna read this tomorrow because I'm not gonna go through this whole thing to see what I missed. But I did see when I was driving home from the port, I did get to see the tail end of when you were talking about the Ben passing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I gotta read this when I get home. But then I came home and took a nap and waited for the show.
True.
Yes.
All right, so
So
let's get to the strip club reviews. Are y'all ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, here's David 1-star review. Here he goes. It says, this is one sentence long. It says, crappiest place ever. Bait and switch. Check-in was buy one get one free. Not worth your time. End of review. Let's keep going. Eddie 1-star review. It says, I gotta agree with the posters here. The only saving grace is that there are some very cute European girls, but what's the point if it's BYOB and you can't touch? All in all, I've never seen such aggressive saleswomen. So it seems like it's like one of those BYOB, you got to bring your own alcohol joints.
A strip club that doesn't sell alcohol?
Yeah. I've been to one of those, like a BYOB place. It was weird. Like people would bring in like a giant, when you go like fishing and you have like a plastic container of like
A
drink.
Stanley Cup
Like
full
a
of liquor?
cooler?
No, yeah, the cooler. They would drag
You
in
got
the whole
you gotta walk
cooler into the strip
one
club.
of those styrofoam coolers.
A giant like cooler you take on your fishing boat.
Oh my
The
God.
cooler into the BYOB strip club.
A big Stanley Cup full of vodka.
Not even a Stanley Cup. I mean like a giant cooler with like beer cans and ice and shit.
Yeah, I never heard of that. I well,
Anyways,
I've heard everything now.
okay, so here's a longer 2-star review from Mike. It says, I went here on Friday and Saturday night. Friday nights are easily the best with 2-for-1 lap dances at $25 and about 10 to 15 girls to choose from, mostly Spanish, Latin, and white. The girls range from 4 to 8 here with a similarly broad range of dancing quality. A good majority of the girls don't pander out much for tips, even when you're sitting at the stage. So those looking for personal attention might be disappointed. Easily the best girl is Cantalina. She does a good stage dance and even better lap dance and knows how to push the right buttons. The girls push too hard for VIP, which is $300 for half an hour.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Hold your comments off, finish reading. Sorry. After the lap dances and after I bought 4 to 5 lap dances, I became annoyed at saying no. End of review. So one other thing I'll say is this is the first place I've seen where it says I've never heard of 2-for-1 lap dances.
I never heard of that. BOGO.
And is that the same guy from the first review? The same Mike?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
So
because they both said kind of the same thing almost.
well, I think the first one was David, then it was Eddie, and now this is Mike.
Oh, okay. Oh, my bad.
So anyway, that was that. Yeah, I guess VIP is $300 for half an hour, which is a lot, I guess, depending on what's going down. Anyway, that's that. Okay, 1-star review from Brandon Rush. He says, this nightclub is disgusting. The girls don't know how to work the pole, let alone dance. I felt sorry for him. Please look up their scandal on Google before thinking of attending. There was an underage girl stripping apparently against her own will for money.
Oh no.
Not to be rude, Lana, but like hold all comments because it may like cut off the Zoom. If you talk over me, Zoom may cut me off. So I don't want to ruin any reviews. So hold.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Let me just restart from the beginning. This nightclub is disgusting. The girls don't know how to work the pole, let alone, and let me say allegedly on this one since it went into that weird area. Let me just actually skip that part. There's blah, blah, blah. Again, the hostess made us purchase alcoholic, watered down beverages, saying it was mandatory to at least buy one drink. She overpriced my boyfriend's beer, and when we complained, she rudely gave us our money back. The bottom line is don't waste your time. You're in Miami, go elsewhere. Okay, the end of the review. So yeah, this sounds like this place is a little scandalous or something.
Yeah, a little sketchy hole in the wall.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, here's a 1 star. I feel like Gina, this name is familiar. Fuck
Yeah.
there, yeah, this is another repeat guy because Fuckery 12 is a name I've recognized.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, here he goes. He says, all right, he says, so I had really high expectations going to a strip club out in South Beach, Miami. I mean, the women out here are beautiful, and well, the strip club, I expected a fantasy world. Meh. Far from that. On top of the strip club itself was a little dinky, and they were only serving beer. It was a Saturday, and no one was there. It was nearly empty. No one, and I mean no one, was making it rain. It was a sad sight. South Beach is not the place to go to the strip club. So that's Fuckery's review.
Damn.
You would think South Beach has the happening strip clubs because that's a really touristy area.
Yeah, I mean it's iconic for
Yeah,
sure.
everybody goes to South
Mhm.
Beach for all the, fast cars and fancy shit. So
Yeah. All right, here's John for 2 stars. It says the women are pushy with lap dances and extras, quote unquote. The stage show is clearly an afterthought, but the women were attractive and fun, and I would have given it 4 stars were it not for the fact that they served non-alcoholic beer as regular beer. At no point were we told the beer was non-alcoholic by the servers. One of the strippers told us, borderline fraud. End of the review.
Oh,
But I wonder
this
if the beer is served in like a can
Sounds like
because
it's like
then
O'Doul's and shit though.
no, they
yeah,
probably if they're passing it off as the real stuff, they got it coming out of
a
a
tap.
draft. Yeah, they got it coming
Yeah.
out the draft. They're giving you apple juice.
It's probably O'Doul's. Right?
Yeah, O'Doul's.
Yeah. So
Or Heineken 0.0.
I know Heineken Zero.
yeah. All right, here's a review from Harrison 69, 1 star. It says, we came here on December. I think he means in December. We came here in December. It's the worst experience in Miami. No hot girls. We pay $20. A cup of beer costs $12. No shows. They force you to watch live dance. They rip off visitors. It's almost empty even when we went there on a holiday. It's a waste of money. End of the review.
And this is on South Beach.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Must be all the way down at the, at the yeah. You know how they have a
At the
west side.
ghetto of South Beach.
Yeah, you know how they have a west side and an east side. It's probably all the way on the west side
Or
of
maybe
South
it's like
Beach.
maybe it's the north side of South Beach.
Yeah, just because it's South Beach doesn't mean it's where the action is.
Yeah. All right, here's a 1 star review from Adam Rod. I don't know if Rod is like a euphemism, but it says, the worst club ever. It's a waste of time and money. Girls are very pushy, asking for tips, following you even when you go to the restroom. They ask extra for VIP room and plus extra for dance. Sunday night was totally dead, and they were only doing lap dances. Anyways, a horrible place and bad service. End of the review.
Mm. Doesn't sound like it's gonna get any better from there.
For real. All right, here's a 1 star review from Ryan123. It says, capital letters, do not go. First of all the quote wine and beer they serve is non-alcoholic. I repeat, their booze is fake to make y'all think you're getting drunk. All the dances are mediocre to crackhead in recovery. Don't actually dance at all on stage and harass you as soon as you walk through the door. There's no reasoning with them. They mostly speak no English and will agree with everything you say to get you in the back. Twilight Zone experience. To all the strippers thinking of working here, stay away. You won't make shit. End of the review. That was pretty good. And I like, here's my favorite part where he said, my favorite part is it says, all the booze are fake. It'll make you think you're getting drunk. And it says all the dancers are mediocre. All the dancers range from mediocre to quote crackhead in recovery.
Yeah, that was the
What a
line.
what a diverse bunch of group of strippers.
Yeah, exactly. So
You know,
what?
I mean, people have a crackhead fetish.
Mhm. Well, is the crackhead in recovery hotter or the mediocre stripper? Which one's the hot one? I don't know.
They sound like they're one and the same.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a 1-star review from Strip Club 431. It says, the girls are pushy, pricing is not clear and made up by the girl. Hustled me and my friends out of hundreds each for a whack lap dance. The place is a scam through and through. Go somewhere else. That's it. All right, here's a 2-star review from Ben here. I was here during the holidays. This place is a ripoff. Each lap dance costs $65, 40 for the room and 25 for the girl. I've never seen a room price for a lap dance. Beware of this place in a $20 cover charge. Come on. All right, end of the review.
Wait a minute, it's
$65. Jesus.
$65 for a room and a girl.
So I guess apparently you have to pay 40 for the room, and then once you get in the room for 40, it's like $25 for the lap dance. So it's like 65, I think.
Oh my.
That's low level prostitution to me.
Yeah, because once you're in that room, you get to do a little bit of everything. I mean, it depends how much time they give you, though. But that's $65 is pretty
What
cheap.
$65 pay for, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cheap for
Well, it depends how you look at it. If all you're doing is getting a private lap dance for one song and and you're down $65, it's not that cheap, right?
No,
I'm just saying
especially if it's from a mediocre or a crackhead stripper.
Well, but what I'm saying is you're paying 40 for the room. Now that's a private room. So you can get a blow job in there or do a quickie or do something like that. So if you're paying $65, exactly. Right. If you're paying $65 for some sex, that's pretty cheap. So yeah, they are probably crackheads in recovery.
Who the heck wants a 1-minute man?
Well, I mean, you gotta think once they get in there, you're not gonna pay, like, the men are not going in there to have full blown sex. Like it's hooker sex. Hooker sex is like 2 seconds.
And those girls can pocket that fucking money.
Yeah,
so they don't have to report that they made that. No one knows what they did in that room.
Exactly. You're doing a quickie, Hooker sex is like in a car, in an alleyway.
Especially most of those men have already watched them all dance.
Exactly.
So they're already hot and bothered.
Exactly. They're ready to go.
Yes.
True.
They're ready to go when they get in there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, here's a 1-star review from Vercel. He says, the worst strip club ever. The women are thirsty from the moment you walk in, and they are hellbent on giving you a lap dance. Not to mention, they offer you sex for money. Not a good place to go. End of the review.
Oh my God!
So that's what I said. For $65, you're getting crackhead status.
They just point blank admitted it.
When the room costs more than the girl, you're in trouble.
Yep.
Because the room is 40 and the girl is 25. They charge you more for the space than for the girl that you're gonna get. No way.
True. All right, here's
that should come with a tetanus shot.
All right, this review is pretty long. 1-star review. I'll try to read it fast. From Weedman420. He says, so disappointed with this place. I've been here numerous times and have had a blast. I brought maybe a woman wrote this. I don't know. It says or a gay guy. It says, I brought my boyfriend here after 4 a.m. ready to have a great time, and it was horrible. The service girl brought me $10 short of change when I got singles, which I just brushed under the rug as an honest mistake. And when we ordered a bottle of champagne for $150, which is great, and after chugging 2 glasses, I noticed the bottle, it was actually cider and non-alcoholic. We did not care about the money and not being in the we did not care about the money and both being in the service industry. I was disgusted and disappointed. We were straight up being hustled, and even when trying to talk to the manager, all we got was 1,000. I hear you. Management is useless. Our server was useless, and one elderly Russian dancer told us to stop complaining. Needless to say, unfortunately, I will not be back. So that's Weed Man 420.
Wait a minute.
It could be a
Maybe
joint account, like kind of like they both write reviews, the boyfriend and the girlfriend, or maybe they're bi.
or it could be a
Did you
gay guy.
did you say an elderly Russian stripper?
Yes. Our server was useless. And on top of that, one elderly Russian dancer told us to stop complaining.
Oh my god.
Of course, a Russian gonna call you out for being cheap. It's like, no, but that would piss me off if I bought a bottle of champagne for $150 and no cider.
Oh, I'd be
Yeah, that's
Non-alcoholic too.
I'm not gonna
I'd
say
be
that.
pissed.
oh my god. I mean, don't they think people are gonna catch on?
Right.
Mhm.
You can tell the difference between cider and champagne.
Yeah, after that
Definitely.
first drink, if you don't have a little head buzz, that ain't alcohol.
I wonder what they're serving for vodka. Rubbing alcohol?
I don't even know. It's a Bricoloff. It's like, all right, here's a one-star review from Orlando. This is kind of long. It says, don't go there. Please never, ever, ever go there. If you are reading this because you're looking for a good place where you can enjoy, don't go there. Why? Overpriced. Just take a cab and pay $20 to get to the other place like Gold Rush or other. This place got girls that will try to get your money in any way they can. They took my credit card and charge whatever they want. If you want to go and if you want to go and spend some dollars just watching, don't go there. $20 to go all in, or to go in, and minimum drinking? No way. I went for my birthday and I will never go again. Never. If I can put a lower star in, if I could put a lower star, I'll put in the place was empty. That should tip us, but no, we stayed, and my friend and I were ripped off. Don't go there. Enjoy the beach. Enjoy the club. Don't go to Madonna's. That place is going down every day. And they don't even sell alcohol. Come on. Okay, end of the review. That guy,
So
that
we got the point. Don't go there multiple times. Don't go there.
He reiterated that.
that guy,
So
that
it's a
review,
strip club without an alcohol license.
that review almost gave me a headache because I was like on the fly correcting his grammar as I was
Yeah,
reading it, which is not what I wanted to do at 1 a.m. after drinking wine. Anyway,
Yeah.
I
here's
think they're
but the
fucking
name,
fools myself.
I think English is not his first language because, like, looking by the first name, it's like Orlando.
Orlando,
Could
yeah.
be a Hispanic, and it could have been translated from
True.
Yeah,
Spanish to
it's
English.
probably yeah.
Right?
That's what I was
Oh,
gonna
that's true.
say. When you translate, it does whatever.
It does whatever it feels like.
Mm.
Okay, here's a Winston. It says, if I could give this shithole a negative star rating, I would. These assholes told me and my boyfriend we were getting a bottle of champagne for $85, but forgot to mention it was non-alcoholic. Once we confronted the waitress, she just simply shrugged it off as if we weren't, as if it wasn't 85 fucking dollars for apple juice. Assuming the tall, skinny foreigner was a manager or something, as he asked us what he could do for us, we told him what the problem was, and he told us he couldn't refund us at all, but could recommend us another bar to go waste money at. Shut this shithole down. 1 stars.
So they have no liquor license,
Mm-hmm.
but they
Yep.
don't tell you that because you won't come in without a liquor license. So they rather pass off anything they can as alcohol and think these folks are not going to catch on.
Yeah, that's fraud.
I hope they're not in business anymore.
I think they still are because it
I'd
still
burn
says
it all.
it's open.
I would burn it all down if I paid $85 for some shit and it was apple juice and they didn't want to give me my money back.
True. All right. Okay, here's let's try to run through these. Tyler, 1 star review says, the prices are outrageous and mostly hidden. The girls were not impressive. You'd be better off driving to Tampa and hitting the worst strip club there than coming here. 1 star. Let's just bust through these. Larry, 1 star review. It says, I've been here 4 times, so I have a valid opinion about Madonna's. The service has always been terrible in every way. Servers always demand more tip, even if you're being generous already. You have to tip some guy to let you go to the bathroom. He doesn't even talk, he just points at his tip jar. The women don't know how to dance and always have the facial expression that they don't want to be there. Most are ugly girls with scars and from former Soviet Union states. They all act like they're not the dogs of society. The music always plays low and makes the atmosphere awkward. The strippers always bother always bother nonstop for a dance. Only two types of beer, wine, champagne. $20 to go in, mind you. No liquor, and it's pretty small. Worst strip club I've ever been to. Do not go. End of review. 1 star, Larry.
Oh my God, that's
Scars.
Let me read that line again. The women don't know how to dance and always have the facial expression that they don't want to be there. Most are ugly girls with scars and are from former Soviet Union states. They all act like they are not the dogs of society. Ouch.
Oh,
Okay.
oh my God.
Let's see. I will say in New York City they do have a lot of Russian strippers. Anyway,
Yeah, but they don't have scars, like battle scars, like they went to war.
no. Let's see. Yeah, they didn't look like they just battled Ukraine. No.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is that Alan 2 stars. It says dance prices are expensive. You prepay $25 for each dance before you go in the dance area, and at the end you pay another $25 for each dance for each dance to the dancer for touching. Many girls are below average looking and will offer sex after work. 2 stars, Alan.
This
Okay.
place sounds terrible. I gotta look it up. Look it up and see if it's still in business.
I did. It is.
It's still in business in Florida?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Here's a Johnny Boy 1 star. Let's see. It says, how can you charge $20 at the door and not serve alcohol? If the New Times had a worst of Miami, this place would win every year. Okay, that was that batch. All right, so I think we're down to
They should just put a sign that says bring your own booze.
true. Well, didn't somebody say it was BYOB too? I don't know.
No, I think that we were talking about in general other strip clubs where like some of them you can bring your own booze
Yeah,
because
you
it's
said
not legal to
and you
serve
said
it.
you saw somebody with a fishing cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for the record,
A fishing cooler and a Stanley cup full of vodka.
it was in Baltimore. Yeah, somebody had a giant fishing cooler with like
Yeah, somebody like it's still open. Someone left a review on Google Reviews a day ago.
Oh my God.
Okay.
The room now costs $300.
Shabooty's too funny.
Okay,
they obviously don't have a liquor license because we all know the more you drink, the more you spend.
Yeah. Okay, we're down to the last 4 reviews. Okay, and it's already 1 a.m. So much for it being a shorter show without George. Oh, anyway. All right, here's a 2 star review from Gabby. I guess that's a woman. I don't know. So my friends and I finally decided to go to a strip club. From the girl sitting outside with a dull expression, we weren't sure about going in, but whatever. We decided to just give it a shot. And oh yeah, it is a girl. So entrance for girls is $10 and for guys is $20. The place isn't really that big, and there was only one girl who was hot. I went to a strip club to see some cool pole dances, and I didn't. The girls don't really dance. Save your money. Don't come here. We left after an hour. So that was Gabby's womanly experience. Here's a 1 star review from Matthew Water. It says, so I went to Madonna's, and the girls that were sitting outside are just models, not strippers. The strippers are not attractive at all. They will ask for tip. They will ask for tip if not given, as well as the waitress will too. There's just some things you don't ask like that. What a horrible experience. Tooties all day. Maybe my Tootsies all day. End of review. 1 star. The one. So from the sounds, it sounds like from if once you walk up to the building or whatever, there's like hot models sitting outside. So you think all this like that, but really they're just models and not strippers. And then when you go in, all the strippers are ugly, but the hot models outside are hot.
They put the strippers without scars outside to lure the customers.
I get it.
And then you get
I feel like the hot ones aren't even strippers. All right, here's
you get the ones with the ones that were at the front line at the wall are inside.
Mm, true. Here's a one star review from Hexy. It says, never go here. Took $100 for 5 minute dance after promising 15 minutes. We were seven of us, and all of us were duped. Okay, that's Hexy. And then we're down to the man of honor. You remember his name, right? JLP?
Jeffrey.
Yeah, Jeffrey, Triple X Beast. I haven't read it yet, but his review, I can see already it's really short. It's only 2 lines. So hopefully it's good. Y'all ready?
All right, let's hear what Jeffrey got to say.
All right, this is Jeffrey, aka Triple X Beast, aka XXXX Beast. It's a 1 star review, but it's 2 lines long. Here we go. Worst place ever. Strippers look tired. I was there for 2 hours. I saw one nip, and they served fake beer. 1 star.
He saw one nip.
He saw one
In
nipple.
2 hours.
2 hours. He saw a half a nipple per 1 hour average.
He stayed 2 hours. He stayed an hour too long. He should have left
Yeah.
after they said no alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna have ugly strippers, at least serve alcohol so you can get drunk, because once you get drunk enough, they all look good.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be giving out free drinks.
Where you gotta like pregame before you walk in, like chug some beers or chug some alcohol or whatever.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. Battle scars. Former Soviet Union battle scarred strippers.
True, that was classic.
The mediocre crackhead strippers.
Oh,
Oh
man.
dear.
My sister lives in Miami. I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna ask her about Madonna's.
Fun
Yeah.
Madonnas.
And no affiliation with Madonna this
Yeah, no affiliation. We have to go to the one in Houston, Captain. That one.
one with the pool, right?
Yeah.
I think Captain, you have to go back and listen to that episode too.
Yeah, I gotta listen to that one because I was out that I think I wasn't available that Friday, the Friday prior to the cruise.
Yeah, you weren't.
Yeah, so I gotta listen to that one, and then the one from Sunday. Was it from Sunday?
Well,
I only missed that one. I only missed that podcast from last Friday.
Well, but did you hear the one about the Houston club with the heart-shaped pool or what?
No, that's the one I missed. That was
Gina was that was longer than last week because it was longer because that episode inspired me to change the podcast art into a heart-shaped pool, and that was longer.
Yeah, that was like
okay. So I missed 2 Fridays then.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
So you can listen to that one.
Yeah, I gotta listen to
Oh, you're gonna like it because like when George learned that there's such thing as like a pool at a strip club, he almost like lost his shit.
He lost his day last night.
Like freaked out. He's like, "Oh my God, I fucking gotta go. That's amazing. I never thought of that." And this is a guy who doesn't even know how to swim.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was May 10th.
Okay, so that was prior to my trip. Okay, I was absent that day.
True.
Yeah.
So
his like mind literally exploded. Like
that was I was sick. I remember now. I wasn't feeling well.
Yeah, you weren't even responding to the messages. You were just
MIA.
It was hilarious because like we were like looking into the strip club, so we saw a review talking about like a pool, like a heart shape. I don't know if the review said heart shaped pool, but
no, it just said pool.
It just said pool. But then we did
sweat infested disease lives in the pool.
Yeah, but like we started doing like research. I guess Gina found it first to her credit. We found like a Google Map satellite image of the outside, and we saw like the pool was heart shaped from outside, and we like that's all. So
I'm definitely gonna go back and listen to that one.
Yeah, and they have a buffet
resort.
True.
They have a buffet with like made to order omelets. You can get a breakfast buffet. At 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah. That's like the late night. Go there at 2 a.m. when you're drunk from after being out all night. You go there instead of Denny's, and you get amazing breakfast buffet.
Right.
And they have cheap booze, a happy hour booze.
Oh man,
cheap happy hour booze.
This is in Houston.
Yeah, it's like right next to a hotel. You know, if you get solicited, you use a hotel right there.
Yeah. The Hilton.
The hotel probably gets a kickback for the business.
Oh no, it is a Hilton. So
true.
Yeah. I can't
So
imagine the families that would be like, "Oh my God, there's a strip club right beside the house."
Yeah, your husband. I'm gonna go out and get some beer, honey. I'll be right back.
true. Well, it is 1:14 a.m. Eastern time. Let's give some shout outs to our live listeners. And so shout out Agua and our co-host, which is thank you, JLP, Lana, Gina, for holding down the fort. As far as some of our regular live listeners, let me shout out Day B, Lori. Well, there's multiple Loris. So Lori. We always have more. We always have three Loris. There's Lori, and then Lori that's spelled different than the other two. And then Musina and Pineapple Girl, obviously, and Sophia, who's like, assuming I don't know if it's the same Sophia, but one of my besties is Sophia. So yeah, thank you all, everyone, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Lana. We love, appreciate you being there.
Thank you, guys.
Anything else?
No, that's a wrap for me.
Yeah, tonight was pretty early.
Yeah. Well, everybody enjoy your long holiday weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off. We had ours last week.
Oh, man.
It's Memorial Day, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. And thank you for joining us. People listening tomorrow on Apple, Spotify, like give it max stars, 5 out of 5. Give us love. And I think like on Apple, our review rating is like 4.2 out of 5 stars. So thank you for the love, and so we have a cult following, and yeah, and Matt Sharp, hit us up, so we can meet you at the next New York City party because we're definitely worthy.
That's right. We got Shabooty.
Oh, we'll need a formal invitation, not like, sure, we'll put you on the list, and then you're not on the list.
No,
you're not on the guest list.
If Matt Sharp doesn't personally call Shabooty on the phone and sends over and FedExes over a contract with a plane ticket, he's not going to grace him with his presence.
True. Well, preferably the plane ticket with no strings attached. But yeah, either way.
Yeah. We're not falling for that shit.
No. I ain't got stupid written on my forehead.
All right, guys. I was glad to be back. I missed you all. But I
missed you too, Captain.
Have a good night. Lori, I hope your mom feels better. I'm going to pray for her. And everybody have a great Memorial Day weekend.
You too.
Thank you for listening to 90 Day Fiancé Fridays on a
Friday.
Peace out, everybody.
Good night.